All right, all right. It looks like we are live. We are very, very late, but we are live nonetheless. For those of you that were checking out the chat, I was having some technical difficulties. I was absolutely ready to go live, and then my computer went completely gray. Not black, not white, anything, just gray with a bunch of little loading circles, and I could not get the live stream started. So, thank you for those of you that stuck around and waited out the technical difficulties. I did not know I was going to be able to get the computer back up running, but we are back up running and we are here live today. So today we are going to be doing an update on the Crumble cookie case as promised from Tuesday's stream. And we're also going to be taking a peek into P. Diddy's case regarding his tequila brand. I didn't even know P. Diddy had a tequila brand. I just knew he was known for like Ciroc, but obviously he's known for a tequila, or maybe not known because he's claiming that the company that he contracted with didn't promote his tequila as much as they promoted Don Julio and Casamigos. I also did not know those were all owned by the same people or promoted by the same people or whatever it may be. But we are going to jump into that case nonetheless. So we have quite a lot of documents for today's streams, or not a lot of documents, very long documents for today's stream. So I am going to try to bounce around in them a little bit so we're not reading like 56 pages straight of discovery, i.e. the Crumble cookie case. And then let's see. And then we are going to just go ahead and go through the cases. But before we go ahead and jump into that, go ahead, if you are here live, drop in the chat if you are here live, if you waited out the technical difficulties, or if you're just now popping up, let us know what's going on. I'm going to say hi to the people in the chat, but before I do that, let me go ahead and say it's been a while. For those of you who do not know me, I am Boss Attorney Bree, and here on this channel, we cover celebrity lawsuits, trademark lawsuits, copyright lawsuits, and really whatever the heck that we feel like covering. And today we are going to be covering celebrity lawsuits and trademark/trade dress type lawsuits dealing with Crumble Cookie. If you've been following my channel for a while, you know that we covered the beginning of the cookie wars. If you don't know what the cookie wars are, it's Crumble Cookie, a pretty famous cookie company that makes gourmet cookies, suing all these other cookie places that make gourmet cookies that are a little bit smaller business, alleging that their business model was stolen. Well, I guess Crave is not a small one. I think Crave is kind of big, but Dirty Dough would be considered a small cookie business in comparison to Crumbl. And then we'll also be talking about P. Diddy, which this is a brand new case. It was filed in May, and his tequila things, his tequila deal gone bad. And we'll get into some of the implications that's going on there, because at first the complaint was redacted. Now the complaint is not redacted, so we get to see all the juicy details and allegations against this tequila owner company and how P. Diddy thinks he was played. All right. So again, 2 intros in one. Let's go ahead and see. We have Mary Malarkey tuning in early for us. I have forgot to, guys, I made this post and then I forgot to press post. And I'm like, what are you doing? You got to get people in the live stream. But Mary Malarkey saying, well, this case looks fun. See you all at 8:30 Central Time. Thank you for joining in live. I hope you are here live. I know you came in a little early. Mary Malarkey says, welcome. Friendly reminder to hit the like button on your way in. Yes, of course. If you have not hit the like button, please do. It definitely helps out the stream. It is me, Boss Attorney Bree, letting you guys know I was having technical difficulties, but we are all good now. Beth Varley says it's okay. All about the food shenanigans. Yes, we are going to be covering a food shenanigan and a drink shenanigan. So I guess it is about the food shenanigans today. Welcome into the live stream. Summer Butterfly, a member of the channel, saying good evening, everyone from Indiana. Hello, welcome in from Indiana. I am not good with geography, so I can't even say what part of the country that is in. Ella Swanky, another member and moderator of the channel, saying, hey, Bree and Hive, hello, welcome back into the live stream. Nice to see you this wonderful Thursday. We are kicking off the weekend. Okay, We had some difficulties, but we're still here, okay? Mary Malaki saying, hi, hello, welcome, Bree. Hello. Thank you for waiting out the storm with me to join the live stream. Chris Mullen says, hey, Bree and everyone. I finally made a live, a belated welcome back. I hope your honeymoon was fabulous. Yes, another member of the channel. Welcome back. Yes, the honeymoon was great. It's been 2 months of bliss, so we're having a great time here. And like I said on the stream on Tuesday, I got some pretty exciting news coming up over the next couple weeks, but I'm trying to wait till we get a little bit closer to let you guys know the good news. But we are happy to have you back here on the live stream. Hello, Swanky says, still here, but running errands, so won't be able to chat much. That is okay. We are just happy to have you here listening with us. Bird Boy, another member of the channel, saying, worth the wait, dropping a sunflower. Thank you so much. I hope the content is great after that 30-minute late spiel. Like sometimes I'm a couple minutes late, but 30 minutes late is crazy to me. Pan says, heading to work in New Hampshire. Thanks for keeping me company. Well, hello. Welcome in. I hope you have a good day at work, or I guess a good night at work. Looks like you're working the night shift. Tanya D saying, hey, glad I'm not late. Yeah, I was the late one. I was the late one. Welcome in, Tanya D, a member and moderator of the channel. Mary Malaki saying, welcome, chat and mods. Yes, welcome in. You know, we have a lot of mods in our chat, which we love because we can keep out all the bots. Tanya D says, safe travels to you, Pants. Yes, of course, safe travels. Get to work safely. Mr. Howard saying, I heard there was cookies. Yes, we are covering our favorite cookie case. Now, for those of you that may have forgot or, you know, just not keeping up the cases, Crumble is actually suing multiple cookie companies, but the one that really fascinates us is Dirty Dough. And as we get into the drama that's going on in the Dirty Dough case, you're going to see why this is the one that we really like. What else did I have up? Because since my computer shut down, all the documents that I have pulled up are now not pulled up. So I'm like, which ones were I going to show you? Which ones was I going to show you? All right. Summer Butterfly saying under Michigan and above Kentucky. Yeah. Would it be considered like the mid? No, it's not the Midwest, right? Yeah, I still don't know. They did not teach geography in my high school, and I didn't voluntarily take it in college. I only know, like, this is California. We got Nevada over here. Texas is down below. Kind of know where Mississippi and Louisiana and all of that stuff lines up, but yeah, those other countries, other states, I have no clue. If I look at a map, yes, I can notice them, but just off the top of my brain, I can't. Okay. Chantel says, hello, Bree. Hello, everyone. Hello, and welcome into the live stream. Nice to have you back here tonight. All right, let's go ahead and get into the live stream before you guys realize that I'm not that smart and no longer want to watch me anymore. Oh my gosh, y'all, I'm tired. I didn't know if this stream was going to make it, y'all. I have not slept like all week. Don't know why, but I have not been sleeping. And I had 2 hearings today and went like 6 hours before lunch. So it has been a day today, but I am happy to be here on the live stream because this is the fun, happy place that lives in my second bedroom in my apartment. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into the lawsuit. We're going to start off with the Diddy Tequila brand company shindig. I had the docket pulled. I had everything set. And that's probably why my computer crashed, because I had like 16 windows ready to go. But maybe that was a sign telling me you don't need to go through 16 windows of content. That doesn't even make sense. That's okay. But okay, let's go ahead and check out Diddy's complaint. For those of you that do not know what I'm talking about, basically, Sean Combs or P. Diddy or Puff Daddy or Diddy or whoever the heck he is right now is suing a company that he was under contract with to promote a tequila brand called like De Leon. I don't even know how to say it. I didn't even know he had a tequila brand. I only knew that he had like Ciroc. And even then I thought he owned Ciroc, but apparently this company, Diageo North America, is actually the owner of Ciroc. And P. Diddy is just like a spokesperson. I didn't know that. And then on top of that, they recently allegedly stated that they were pulling away from P. Diddy in association with Ciroc because they didn't want it to be an African American brand, or that it's not an African American brand because they're the owners of it. So a lot of drama with this company. This complaint is super long. We're going to read the nature of the action, which gives us a lot of the background, and then we're going to jump around to the things that were redacted from the case that the judge has ruled can't be redacted, and the public needs to see this. We need to see what the heck P. Diddy is alleging so that we can know if he's failed to state a claim or if he has stated a claim. Not that we need to know it, but the court is allowing us to know it, right? Because they redacted a lot of the complaint to begin with. All right. So we are in the Supreme Court of the state of New York and the County of New York. We have Combs brand, or whatever you want to call it, his conglomerate of entrepreneurship that he's suing through. He's not suing through himself individually. And then we have Diageo. I'm going to call it Diageo. I don't know if that's how you say it, but I'm going to call it Diageo North America, or I might just call it Dia for short because we don't want to get tongue twisted. And this is a complaint for injunctive release. He's basically trying injunctive relief. He is basically trying to make the court make Dia enforce his contract that he has. So let's go ahead and see. We're going to get bits and pieces of what the contract says throughout the complaint. Okay, plaintiff Combs Wines and Spirits files this complaint against Diageo North America and alleges the follows. In public, Diageo, what can I call him? I'm gonna call him something, but we'll get through it. We'll get through it. Okay. And Diageo, a multi-billion-dollar publicly traded spirits company, proclaims itself as the leader in diversity and inclusion. Diageo's public statements tout that it supposedly believes the most inclusive and diverse cultures makes for better business and a better world, and the diversity fuels growth and innovation and ensures we can authentically sell our brands to our consumers. Oh, and I forgot to say, guys, if you have heard about this case, go ahead and drop it in the chat. Let me know if you heard about it, and let me know your thoughts on it so far. Yes, so he's basically coming at them strong, talking about they say that they're all inclusive, but look how racist they have been to me. They are putting other tequila brands above me, and I'm going to make some funny, maybe not some funny notes, but it is going to be race-related notes to him saying that they're promoting Casamigo and Don Julio over his brand, even though he's Black. And we'll just start off with it right now. A lot of Black people that like tequila they're talking about Casamigos like they feel like that's top shelf. You will see Black people drinking Casamigo and Don Julio. So I don't know if his racism claim is going to really sell what he's trying to argue here, because the only reason why I know about Don Julio and Casamigo, other than it being in Costco more recently, is Black people in their social media posting what tequila that they're drinking. We got Patron, we got Casamigos, and we got Don Julio is normally what I see the Black folks that surround me drinking when they're drinking tequila, okay? When the Black folks came off of Patron, they went to Casamigos. They went to Casamigos and Don Julio. Let's get into it. Let's get into the case. I went off track. Okay. Cloaking itself in the language of diversity and equality is good for Diageo's business, but it is a lie. While Diageo may conspicuously include images of Black partners in advertising materials and press releases, its words only provide the illusion of inclusion, as Combs Wine and Sean Combs have experienced firsthand. Diageo, by and through its parent company's chief executive officer, Ivan Menendez, has proven unwilling to treat its Black partners equally, even when it's explicitly required by contract to do so. Sean Diddy Combs is the owner of Combs Wines and has a long-standing business relationship with Diageo. or Diageo for 2 spirits brands, Ciroc Vodka and De Leon Tequila. That's what I did not know, that I really didn't know that he was associated with a tequila brand. I knew about Ciroc. Black people like Ciroc too. I don't know, why is this a race case? Let's go on. Okay, De Leon, I don't even know what it's called because I've never even heard of it, which probably is his point. It's not being promoted to the black folks because I am a black folk. Based on Diageo's false promises about investing in diverse owned and black and diverse backed brands, Mr. Combs has put the full force of his marketing, business, and personal resources into Diageo's partnership. But because he knows that contracts matter more than press releases, Mr. Combs insisted that Dia, I'm going to call him Dia, agrees to certain terms to ensure his brands were not ignored or regulated to second-class status, but instead treated equally. Specifically, his agreement with Dia contains a broad equal treatment provision to ensure that Dia could not treat other brands better than it treated Mr. Combs' brands. Okay, that makes sense, but it sounds more like something boilerplate you put into contracts and say, hey, give me the same type of attention, because allegedly this company owns like 200 different spirits that are very popular. So he wants to be promoted on the same level of popularity as these other brands. So rather than equal treatment, Dia has treated Mr. Combs and his brands worse than others because he is black. Let's just put it out there. It's because he's black. But okay. Why are they? Never mind. Let's go on. Dia has typecasted Ciroc, and just to be clear, y'all, this is a live reaction. I have not read this. I've only read an article about it, so I did not know it was this blunt into being against him because he was black. Okay, Dia has typecasted Ciroc and De Leon, apparently deciding they were black brands. Okay. That should be targeted only to urban consumers. Then why are the black folks drinking Casamigos who you're saying they're putting on a higher standard, a higher pedestal? It sounds like they're promoting Casamigos to the black folks to me, or maybe black folks are promoting it to themselves. I don't know. Diageo's president of Reserve and New Business, Stephen Russ, directly acknowledged the company's racist undertones in 2019, telling Mr. Combs telling him that some within Dia leadership resented him for making too much money. What? Someone told you that? They don't like you because you make too much money? They didn't say they don't like you because you're black. Like, your whole case is because you're black, not because you make too much money. He also admitted Mr. Combs' race was part of the reason. Okay, here we go. Diageo limited the neighborhoods where Combs brands were distributed. If Mr. Combs were Martha Stewart, Mr. Russ said things would be different. Okay, all right. Who is this Mr. Russ guy? Because he's going to have this brand in big trouble. Okay, Diageo, Mr. Menendez, and Mr. Russ have put their feet on the neck of Mr. Combs' brands. In a business where production, distribution, and sales are the pillars of success, Ciroc and De Leon have been starved of resources for all three. While Diageo invested in and expanded its other brands, many of which were acquired after Ciroc and De Leon, Mr. Combs' brands were allowed to wither, getting increased attention only if Combs Wines demanded it under threat of legal action. In a proceeding not before this court, Mr. Combs intends to seek billions of dollars in damages due to Diageo's neglect and breaches. Okay, Dia cannot even reasonably dispute that De Leon has been treated less favorably than brands like Casamigos or Don Julio, the ones that I'm saying black people drink all the time. Like, I'm not kidding. Instead, Dia claims that it is required only to provide De Leon proportionally equal treatment, but it was Dia that kneecapped De Leon's sale growth for nearly a decade. Oh my gosh, he's had this tequila for over a decade. And now says that because De Leon has not yet reached the same sales levels as competing brands, Casamigos and Don Julio, Dia need not provide it with the same scale of support. Dia self-fulfilling prophecy not only ignores Diageo's legal obligations, but only ignores the growth that Mr. Combs and Combs Wine have recently won for De Leon in the marketplace. Dia will squander that hard-fought growth if it continues to treat De Leon as a mere proportional priority. Unfortunately, this is not the first time that Diageo has had to answer for its unequal treatment of its Black partners. Through the present lawsuit, Combs Wine seeks to finally put an end to Diageo's long-standing misconduct. Combs Wine demands nothing more than what Diageo has promised to consumers, shareholders, business partners, and Combs Wines itself. Diageo must be ordered by the court to give Combs Wines the same treatment it gives other successful tequila brands. It is time that Diageo's actions match its words. All right, let's see if Bree can read today. That was only 2 pages of reading. Okay, so they are claiming race. I don't know. Like I said, this is a live reaction. I didn't know it was this geared towards the race side of things, but here we are. We are here. We're reading it, and we're going to see what he is saying, okay? Let me go ahead and jump in the chat to see what the peeps are saying. Let me know if you guys heard of this case. Let's see. Where are we at? Okay, I think we are right here. Indiana is definitely the Midwest. I'm in South Bend. Okay, yeah. I feel like there's a lot of states that I would probably call the Midwest that are probably not the Midwest. But thank you for letting us know. Rachel Mills, welcome back to the live stream, saying, and SAG went on strike. SAG went on strike. Is that the writer? No, I don't know what that is. You're going to have to spell that out for me. Tanya D says, that's sad. They didn't teach geography. No, they didn't. That's what's wrong with the world. That's why the kids are not that smart. And that's in my class. Imagine what they're teaching the kids now. Mary Malarkey says, Bree, I say this with love. You and Merce need to take a cross-country trip on the U.S. via car. Maybe that is something that we can do. It's not my fault my school didn't. Well, I guess I could have looked at the map more often. Tanya D says, that's right, Rachel. Need to catch up on that. I don't know what that is off the top of my head. So let me know in the chat. Mary Malaki says, Bree, you already read that one. Tiny D says, I didn't know Diddy didn't own Ciroc. Did he sell it to them at some point? I don't know. I thought he owned it, but apparently he's just a spokesperson for it, or maybe pitched it to them. I don't know. Mary Malaki says, same. I've only gone to the Northwest as far as Chicago to DC to Boston to New York. Still need to go to the West and the South. Yes. See, a lot of people need to travel, not just me. Tiny says, further, I didn't know he had tequila either. I didn't know, and it sounds like it's been for quite a while, more than 10 years. And so I've been pretty much legally able to drink for at least 10 years almost. So, and I've never heard of it, but I have heard of Casamigos and Don Julio, but that again to me was more recently. Well, Don Julio I feel like I've known about for a long time, but Casamigos was something that's newer to me, probably like 2020 2021 is when I learned about Casamigos. Cheryl Reed, hello and welcome into the live stream. It's nice to have you back here today. Tanya D says, I don't drink tequila, but I do agree that everyone moved from Patron to Don Julio. Yeah, it was a mass shift in the Black community. Chantel says, are these companies disassociating with Diddy because of his venture into reality TV land, messy personal life, and the possible negative effects on their brand? That could also be a reason, and the fact that he's being accused of MOL-esting little boys in the industry. I mean, that could possibly be a reason why they're not promoting his stuff, but according to him, it's because he's Black and he's not Martha Stewart. Okay, Mr. Non-Martha Stewart. I don't know. Maybe Russ did say if you were Martha Stewart, it would be better. You had a squeaky clean image. You weren't harassing young men in the industry in the 90s and maybe even now. We don't know. Allegedly. All of those things are alleged. I'm out the loop. What TV ventures? I'm not all the way familiar with the TV ventures or the reality TV either. I think he had a show on a while ago, but something more recent, I don't know. Chantel said he's supposed to star on a reality TV show about him and his many children. Not his many children. Oh my gosh. Ellen Swinky says, don't forget to finesse the algorithm, y'all. Help the stream. Hit the like button. Yes, of course. If you have not hit the like button, please do so. It helps us out in the algorithm and helps us get more friends. Yes, thank you for the reminder. Cheryl Reed says, this is the first I've heard of this case. It was just filed in May, so it's pretty new. It's actually had quite a bit of activity on it, and that's why we're going to get this unredacted form because of all the activity that has been going on in the last 2 months. So pretty new case. Tiny D says SAG Screen Actors Guild. Okay, that's what I was thinking, but I'm like, mine might be wrong. So now writers and actors are on strike. Yeah, I was getting ready to say the writers, and I was like, oh, I don't know, that might be wrong because there's no W. There's no W, so I don't know. This hour says, Snoop Dogg, he doesn't have a squeaky clean image, but he is skin good. Or he's doing good. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, and I don't know. Maybe he just read into what the people said to him. If you're gonna complain that they're only marketing it to Black people, and maybe the only reason why I learned about Casamigo recently and Don Julio and seeing Black people drink it is because I'm Black, so maybe that is marketed towards non-Black people. Let's get into the bigger market. It is marketed towards white people, and the Black people are just now getting a hold of it. Because sometimes as Black people, we do like to try to be fancy. So we want to drink what fancy people drink. And a lot of times the fancy people are the white people. I'm just saying. So maybe we're just now getting it and it's not necessarily marketed to us. But what I see is Black people drinking it. And maybe it's just because that's my environment. So that's what I would see. I don't know. Tiny D says Diddy is a whole brand on his own. Why not just go back to doing his own promotions and advertising? Exactly. If you were making more money when you were advertising it, do your own darn commercial. You're entering into it as an LLC. I'm pretty sure you have the range to do it. Is it that you don't want to pay for it? Like, are they supposed to be paying for it? I don't get. We'll see what the contract says. Maybe they will disclose the contract and we'll be able to go through that to see what the rules were as far as advertising this drink. Okay, let's jump back into it. I said that I was going to read all of this introduction part, but it's pretty long. Okay, we're going to start getting into the unredacted stuff. So yes, we will go ahead and read it then. Okay, Mr. Combs is a powerful force in both the entertainment and business, internationally renowned as a musician, music producer, entrepreneur, actor, film and television producer, and philanthropist. Mr. Combs has established a vast following among his fans and the general population. Mr. Combs has used this acclaim to grow his businesses and those of his partners in a wide variety of industries, including media, health and wellness, fragrances, and fashions. Diageo's first approached Mr. Combs more than 15 years ago. In 2007, Diageo contacted Mr. Combs to help grow its then struggling vodka brand, Ciroc. Okay, so it wasn't his. We are learning things here today. He did not make Ciroc. He was approached to promote it so that they can make some money. And guess who they promoted it to? The Black folks. Okay. And Mr. Combs agreed to use his widely known name and influence to help promote in the market. I didn't know Ciroc did they say they're new? Help grow their struggling vodka brand. They didn't say when Ciroc came out. But yeah, Ciroc was pretty well known. Yeah. I knew about Ciroc. Okay, let's see. He used his name to promote it. Number 10, to show his commitment to Diageo and Ciroc, Mr. Combs agreed. And y'all, when you see this in the green, this is what they originally had redacted that the court is now letting us see. So it's going to have, I think the green is going to have a little bit more of the spicy details in it because it was originally redacted. So To show his commitment to DOGO and Ciroc, Mr. Combs agreed to an exclusivity clause that prevented him from promoting, endorsing, or having any direct or indirect interest in any other beverage alcohol product anywhere in the world. So he can't start his own. DOGO insisted on this provision, depriving Mr. Combs of becoming an owner or equity partner in other brands while simultaneously disallowing Mr. Combs to participate as an equity partner in Ciroc. Sounds like you've signed a bad deal, buddy. Sounds like you signed a bad deal. Why would you? No, I need to be an owner. If I'm going to make this thing blow up, which I'm going to say he made that thing blow up, he should have had some ownership in there. Okay. But in return, DOGO promised that if Ciroc was a success, it would invest in a joint partnership with Mr. Combs to launch a premium tequila brand. Okay, is he a part owner of this tequila brand? That's what we would like to know. That's what we'd like to know. The years following the signing of the Ciroc agreement were filled with consistent supply issues and lack of meaningful distribution, and we're wondering why they're struggling. Despite Mr. Combs' repeated pleas, DOGO failed time and time again to devote the proper attention, resources, and support to Ciroc. But even in the shadow of DOGO's neglect, Mr. Combs sparked a spectacular growth in the once fledgling, I've never heard that word, brand. Okay, so let me come full screen because I'm going to explain something to you, Mr. Sean Combs. They hired you to help grow a brand that was struggling. And then you joined to help grow that brand, and they neglected the brand. At no point did you wonder why the brand was struggling to begin with. Did you ever think that maybe, just maybe, they have too many different alcohol brands going on, too much on their plate? You know how they say, like, find a niche, stick to one thing when you're doing, like, content on social media and things like that. Stick to one platform, blah, blah, blah. Hence probably why I don't grow any of my platforms, because I want to be on everything, but I don't have time to be on everything. That's what it sounds like was going on with DOGOs. They didn't have the capacity to pay attention to every single brand that they have. Hence, why they hired you. So for you to then be confused as to why they're not giving you attention, they basically thought you were going to take, in my head, they basically thought you were going to take the reins and grow this thing. And it sounds like you did. You did spectacular growth. So you did what they asked you to do. I don't know if they were supposed to, hold your hand. They probably should have held your hand through it. But honestly, it sounded like they didn't know what they were doing to begin with. So there's that. Okay. That's how I'm feeling about that. Okay. Mr. Combs' impact is proven by the numbers. In 2007, Ciroc sold only about 75,000 cases per year. In just 2 years after Mr. Combs began promoting Ciroc, annual sales grew to about 400 cases a year. So it more than quadrupled in 2 years, which is good. And by 2014, sales of Ciroc had grown over 3,000% since Mr. Combs began marketing it to approximately 2.6 million cases sold per year. You did what you were supposed to do under the contract. Good job. Due to the power, reach, and efforts of Mr. Combs, Ciroc went from just another vodka to a billion-dollar spirit brand known by millions because it was in the videos. You was jamming and you was drinking some Ciroc. All right, okay. In 2013, Combs Wines and DOGO formed De Leon Holdco LLC, a joint venture to buy, market, and sell De Leon Tequila, a boutique tequila brand, then distributed in just 18 states and Washington, D.C. So sounds like he was an actual partner in this one. He formed this LLC for that purpose, it sounds like. Despite Mr. Combs' efforts and optimism and DOGO's promises, the parties' marriage suffered almost immediately due to Dia's neglect. The parties have formal and informal agreements about distribution, investment, and brand positioning for De Leon Tequila. is it called De Leon or De Leon? I'm De Leon. I don't know what it's called. Yet Dio consistently fell short of its commitments. It instead began investing more heavily in other brands, including competing Don Julio Tequila that it acquired in 2015. So he opened his in 2013, and they got Don Julio. Let me tell you something. This company is making money because all of these liquors are in Costco, and Costco makes money, okay? So I don't know. They weren't paying attention to the brand in 2007. So what makes you think now in 2015 they're going to be doing a good job? And who's to say they're really giving Casamigos and Don Julio more attention? We would need to see data and discovery and things on that. Okay, they acquired it in 2015, and Casamigos Tequila that was acquired in 2017. Hence, probably why we're now hearing about it, or why I'm now hearing about it. Enamored with its new shiny toys, DOGO's commitment to and focus on De Leon inevitably suffered. My thing is, if they weren't paying attention to you to rock, why would you then go into a joint venture with them thinking that they were going to pay more attention to you? I don't get that line of thinking, but okay. Left alone to save De Leon while DOGO invested more than billions of dollars to acquire competing brands. Mr. Combs, with DOGO's knowledge, redesigned let me gather my thoughts here. Mr. Combs, with Dia's knowledge, redesigned the De Leon tequila bottle and developed a marketing plan to promote it. But Dia again left Mr. Combs out to dry. Dia insisted on an inferior design using inferior materials, and even worse, launched those redesigned bottles without any marketing support. The public was understandably confused, and the product continued to fail. Okay, that probably wasn't the best idea. But maybe they thought they had a better idea. Dia refusal to abide by its own obligations and promises escalated in the late 2010s to the detriment of De Leon Tequila. For example, Dia unilaterally discontinued De Leon's 375 milliliter SKUs, the popular half bottle option offered by nearly all major spirit brands. So you're pretty much getting a big bottle or a little bottle, without Mr. Combs' consent, creating sharp sell declines in key markets. Likewise, in 2019, Dia clerical mistake caused the Mexican government to impound a critical shipment of De Leon tequila at the border. Jeez. This was blocked out at first. Okay, we getting confiscated at the border. In 2020, Dia unfair treatment of De Leon reached new heights amidst a growing shortage of agave, the key ingredient in tequila. Dia brazenly snubbed De Leon by allocating its existing supply of agave to competing tequila brands, forcing De Leon to scramble to source agave from a spot market at significantly higher costs. The result of this systemized neglect, widespread and years-long shortages and out of stocks of De Leon tequila in major markets, including California, Texas, and Florida. Adding insult to injury, Mr. Combs learned that these varied inventory issues from retailers, not DOGO. DOGO's failure to provide even this basic courtesy confirmed the worst. This is not a good faith partnership, let alone the trusting marriage Mr. Combs had hoped for. While Dia has undoubtedly violated its contractual obligations and unfairly lined its own pockets, this case is not an ordinary contract dispute in which a party chooses to disregard its contractual promises due to greed and profit. Rather, and similar to the realities experienced by many people of color in the United States, DOGO's treatment of its business relationship with Mr. Combs was tainted by racial prejudices. I am more with you on not fulfilling your contractual obligations. I don't know if I can hop on the colored colored people on the black people bandwagon at this point. Let me know in the chat, are you guys getting racist vibes, or are you just getting, to me, I'm getting this company never really paid attention to you to begin with, so why did you think it was going to happen now? Sounds like bad contracting. I don't know. And I will be honest, early 2000s, probably still in the 90s, 80s, Black people coming into fame were getting bad deals. So is this just a byproduct of that? But then again, is that strictly racist? I don't know. I don't know. And he's saying it's not selling in Texas, or what is that? Florida, California, and Texas, I think, which is like the biggest state. So basically you want your stuff to be put in the bigger states, which I definitely understand, because you'll probably get more sales that way. It's more people there. But geez, I don't know if I can get on the racial prejudices bandwagon at this point. I think I need to see more. And I don't know if they thought this was going to push them further in the litigation phase. But to me, it's not. For example, Mr. Combs grew Ciroc into a $1 billion brand that had widespread appeal. And you can do it again. Like, why don't you just do that again with your tequila brand that you're a partner of? An internal DOGO presentation cost Ciroc. Okay. This part was blacked out, y'all. Okay, here we go. We might be getting into the racist stuff. Let's see. An internal DOGO presentation called Ciroc, an urban African-American brand tied to one personality. DOGO eventually proposed downplaying Ciroc's connection to Mr. Combs with the goal of rolling back its image of being an African-American brand, i.e. they want to sell it to more white people and non-Black people. I mean, that grows your market. I don't know if it's fully racist. I mean, a lot of Black people especially, think that Diddy owns Ciroc. I thought that he owned Ciroc. Yeah. But then he says that he's saying that they're trying to pull him away from Ciroc so it's not seen as an African-American brand, but they're saying that they're promoting De Leon to African-American people, and that's wrong. So which one is it? Do you want to be associated with Black people, or do you not want to be associated with Black people? Because you're saying the tequila is only being promoted to Black folks, and that's wrong. And then now you're saying they're pulling Ciroc away from you because it's associated with Black people only, and that's wrong. Which one? Am I tripping, or like... Yeah. Okay. DOGO's unequal treatment of Mr. Combs is at times even less subtle. Mr. Russ, for example, told Mr. Combs that things would be different if he were a white, not Black celebrity. I'm assuming that's the Martha Stewart comment, because I don't think they would straight up, I would hope they wouldn't straight up say that. If you was white, you would be doing a lot better. I hope they would not say that. DOGO, in other words, openly admitted that it viewed Mr. Combs merely as a Black man that might prove useful in marketing to Black consumers, nothing more. But you're contradicting yourself by saying they're pulling you out of Ciroc. Or are you saying you made Ciroc big and now they're pulling you out because now it is big, so now they can sell to fancier people? I don't know. Predictably, De Leon and Mr. Combs bore the brunt of Dia's conduct. It soon became clear that DOGO had stopped even going through the motions that are to be expected in any good faith partnership. Multiple retailers, each responsible for millions of spirit sales, have reported that despite their interest in carrying De Leon tequila and or Ciroc, DOGO never contacted them for potential sale and distribution of those brands. Maybe you got to form your own team. To me, they sound like they were doing a horrible job at marketing Ciroc before you came in. So to me, I really don't feel sorry for you, because they were already having this problem. Like, did you not do more research before you signed on to the brand? And then you worked with them on Ciroc and noticed they weren't giving you that much attention, and you still decided to go with a tequila brand with them. You should have got out of the business deal way back then. In 2020, Mr. Combs confronted DOGO and demanded that DOGO commit to change its ways through concrete promises and a revised joint venture agreement. It's a piece of paper. At least on paper, DOGO agreed. But DOGO's paper promises is all that it was, turned out to be a little more than a way to make Mr. Combs sit down and shut up. Despite committing to be transparent about the production and sale of De Leon tequila, DOGO deceived Mr. Combs when he asked about such issues. For example, in 2021, DOGO told Combs Wines that its glass supplier had unexpectedly disruptions due to COVID and therefore could not produce as many bottles of De Leon tequila as expected. But when Combs Wine spoke with the representative of the supplier, they said the shortage were due to a planned maintenance that occurs every 7 years, maintenance that DLGO surely knew about but never told Combs Wines. The breach of promises and disrespect still had not ceased. But if you're in a partnership, why don't you have people in the room too? That would be my question. They lied about the reason why there were not enough bottles, but either way, there would not have been enough bottles because they weren't manufacturing it. Whether it was because of COVID, whoever relayed the message could just be stupid. Like, I don't know. That to me does not seem like a big deal. Maybe they never called. They just knew they were out of production and just probably assumed it was because of COVID. I feel like there's a lot of different testimony that can come out to that, what people will probably point as a misunderstanding, to tell you the truth, or a misinterpretation, or maybe they never called and, like I said, just made the assumption that it was because of COVID, because that was around the COVID time and there were shortages during that time. Yeah, Mr. Combs, some of the stuff is a little racist, but there are other reasons why they probably don't want to associate with you other than the fact that you're Black. I don't know. This time, with understandably little trust left in DLGO's team, Mr. Combs took action immediately, as you should have already been doing since 2017 when you noticed that they were not paying attention to you. He sent a request for books and records to DLGO. You didn't have those to begin with? Okay, fine. To which they sent a perfunctory response. And when Mr. Combs again pressed DLGO for more information, DLGO refused to provide it. Sounds like you were doing bad business. In my opinion, sounds like you were doing bad business. You were a partner, okay? DLGO's retort on these follow-up inquiries spoke volumes about its backwards treatment of Mr. Combs. While refusing to honor its own promises, DLGO demanded that Mr. Combs provide confirmation that he would not violate his non-disparagement clause. In short, DLGO didn't care about respecting its obligation to Combs Wines. All it cared about was avoiding public accountability for its own discriminatory conduct. Well, now they're getting their accountability, but I don't think it's being painted in the way that you're trying to paint it. But I do think they're not following their contract. I do think that. I don't know if it's race related yet. So let's keep going. In November 2021, Combs Wines agreed to try diplomacy one more time to make the partnership work. It signed another amended joint venture agreement. Why do you keep signing these pieces of paper? Like, they're not working, obviously. To reset and rebuild the De Leon Tequila brand, why don't you get some people in there? Have people on your team in those meeting rooms, on those marketing teams, on those supply teams. Do you have those? What's going on? Are you not willing to pay people to be on your you got to pay your employees. So I don't know. Combs entered into this agreement based on what turned out to be false promises. The DLGO would correct its course, commit to meaningful support of De Leon brand, and finally live up to the diversity promises. But as explained below, those promises have not been kept and appear to have never been sincere. Instead, DLGO seemed to have more nefarious purpose to dupe Mr. Combs and Combs Wines into providing releases for DLGO's historical misconduct and to string Mr. Combs along to maintain his ongoing marketing support to make money. Okay. But whatever DLGO's intentions were, its action violate both the spirit and letter of the parties' agreement. Some of this stuff I'm surprised was even redacted. Indeed, as part of the 2021 JV, Combs Wine negotiated a broad equal treatment provision to address the root cause of DLGO's misconduct and to ensure that DLGO could not treat other brands better than it treated the De Leon Tequila. Yet again, DLGO's seemingly strong commitment turned into a paper lion. Despite a booming tequila market and contractual provisions requiring that De Leon be treated at least as favorably as the DLGO and its controlled affiliates, other tequila brands, DLGO has continued to produce underwhelming and disproportionately low quantities of De Leon tequila. Most recently, DLGO has crippled DeLeon's growth by failing to keep up with consumer demand for DeLeon's Reposado Tequila. A Reposado Tequila surge in popularity. DLGO did not adequately ramp DeLeon production, causing DeLeon Reposado to be consistently out of stock and forcing interested DeLeon consumers to look elsewhere. Adding salt to the wound, the Combs team had for years foreseen this trend and had pushed Reposado as the would-be or should-be hero of the DeLeon portfolio. Had DLGO not discarded the Combs team guidance back then, the DeLeon brand would never have been caught flat-footed in 2022 and 2023. DLGO has also failed to invest in positioning and promoting DeLeon Tequila at anything approaching an equal level. Even the bare minimum equal positioning efforts have proven too much for DLGO. Like other tequilas, DeLeon doesn't even have a dedicated brand page on DLGO's website. Oh, man. You don't even get put on the website? They don't like you. This unequal treatment extends to sales and distributions. DLGO senior sales executives have admitted that there have been no sales incentives for Ciroc or DeLeon since 2017. This lack of attention has become clear in the marketplace. Multiple distributors have told Combs Wines and DLGO that has not spoken to them about DeLeon or Ciroc. Other distributors lack even the basic information about the brands needed to decide whether to carry the brands, the sort of information that any good faith distribution effort would ensure was widely calculated. Numerous market participants, both inside DLGO and independent of it, have correctly diagnosed the problems as one of the racial stereotyping. A Ciroc brand executive, for instance, suggested that DLGO's sparse distribution of Ciroc is due to the fact that Ciroc is a brand for Black consumers. Major retailers and potential business partners have likewise confirmed Mr. Combs and have likewise confirmed to Mr. Combs that Ciroc and DeLeon are positioned by DLGOs as ethnic brands. Okay. The predictable result of DLGOs intentionally restricting DeLeon's sale footprint is that DeLeon's sale footprint has remained restricted. Third-party data confirms that DeLeon distribution has hovered at minuscule levels, while Casamigo and Don Julio distribution rates continue to increase year after year, and even in retail locations that sell DeLeon, its products are only a few facings. Compare that to Don Julio and Casamigo, who not only have many multiples, more retail facing than DeLeon, but also have increased those retail facings almost every year. Likewise, while Don Julio and Casamigos have more than doubled their sales velocity in recent years, DeLeon laggers behind. As of 2022, DeLeon Tequila is distributed in just 3.3% of all possible outlets, as compared to 36% for Don Julio and 34.4% for Casamigo, a disparity that is all the more egregious given the parties' DeLeon partnership predates DLGO's acquisition of the other brands. Under the joint venture agreement, these types of violations cause irreparable damage. According to Combs Wine, is entitled to equitable relief, including injunctive relief or specific performance to enforce the promises that DLGO agreed to. Combs Wines is now left with no option but to seek injunctive relief from this court to enforce the third JV agreement as written. The growth of DeLeon Tequila brands has suffered significant headwinds and damage due to DLGO's intentional and willful conduct. At this point, only a binding enforceable court order will finally put DLGO on the path of compliance and force DLGO to end its deception and discriminatory damaging behavior. Okay. Coolio. So this case is actually for the court to order them to comply with the agreement. But how do you measure compliance with that agreement? I definitely understand they could probably be doing better under the contract and promoting it to more places. But But you're arguing that it's a black brand. I don't know. I'm not getting the race card of this one. I know one of the things in here, we didn't get to the part because this is a long complaint. We only are like 1/3 through the complaint, to tell y'all the truth. And that's just the background of it. And then it gets into more background, and then it gets into the arguments and the causes of action. But in this case, I'm not seeing it being too much race related. I know there is a section in here where they talk about they wanted to do a watermelon flavor, and Sean Combs let them know, like, hey, there's a racist background to that, so we shouldn't do that. And they still did it anyways, according to him. But I don't know if that's enough to be like, okay, they're not. Are they trying to make the court feel bad for him? Because it's not like you'd be like, oh, these people didn't enforce, they're not abiding by the contract. That's one thing. That is a remedy type thing. But they're not abiding by the contract because I'm black. Adding because I'm black does not add any more legal basis to a contract claim. Like, this is not, you didn't get hired from a job. They may come back and say, hey, well, we found documentation that you did these things and we don't really want to be associated with you anymore, so we hope that you go away. Or maybe say, yeah, we did try to sell to those stores and they said they never heard of that and they don't want it. So they can come with all kinds of stuff. I don't know if he's going to really be able, I don't know what legal basis he's trying to gain by saying that I'm black and that's why they're not abiding by the contract. Let's see. I would probably, I'm not going to go through all of this today. It's a lot. But yeah, I'm not all the way convinced. So I'm going to go ahead and go up to the chat. I know a couple things have come in as I've been reading, because I've been reading for a long time. So I may not get to all the chat, but I will try to get to as many as I can. And then we're going to jump into the Crumble cookie case for those of you that missed the beginning of the stream. Also, if you have not hit the like button, please do hit the like button. It helps us out in the algorithm, helps us get more friends to listen to the nonsense that we read in complaints. I thought I would be more on his side. I really thought I would be more on his side, but I'm not, and that's surprising to me. Let's see. Sharice says this wouldn't be the first time that certain things are mainly marketed to Black community. I don't think it's a bad thing. If you were Black, you probably want to sell to Black people because they're probably going to be more likely to support you. Hence why you put all them Ciroc bottles in your videos. And then all of a sudden, all the Black people are buying Ciroc. And now it's known as, we think that Diddy owns the brand. So why would they not market it there? Where are they marketing this Casamigo? Because like I said, I have never seen any of my white friends drink Casamigo, but I've definitely seen my Black friends drink Casamigos. So, like, where are they marketing it to? And I don't know. Because I rarely see any alcohol commercials. I don't know. I'm confused. Are they only putting it in the hood? Is that what he's trying to claim? They're only putting it in the hood liquor store? I don't know what he's trying to claim. Chantel says, and freaking Jay-Z has what does he have? Jay-Z has, what is the one that Jay-Z has? I forgot what it's called. It's slipping my mind right now. So if you know in the chat, and I'll probably get to it 10 minutes later, but if you know in the chat, go ahead and drop it. But there's one that Jay-Z has, and all I see is Black people drinking that, and he's doing just fine and not complaining. So I don't know. I don't know if it's a good argument. Chantel says Snoop Dogg successfully rehabilitated his image. His collab with Martha Stewart helped. Maybe Diddy needs to find his own Martha Stewart, or maybe he needs to go holler at Martha Stewart and say, hey, how do I become you? I don't know. Mary Malaki says, I enjoy Bree not prepping before going live, because then I'm shocked. And I could be just as shocked as you are. And this Howard says, Tanya D, and he had his own cooking show, I think, for Snoop Dogg. Saying right to Chantel. Chantel says, Diddy didn't read the fine print. What's the fine print? Mary Malarkey says, being real on your channel with your audience is everything, in my honest opinion. Well, thank you. All I can do, because it's a live reaction, so I cannot edit my reaction. Like, I try not to say rude things, at least, but most of what comes out on my channel is my honest opinion, and maybe I'll regret it later. I don't know. Chantel says, a bad contract. I'll bet Mace and the other artists allegedly shafted by Diddy's Bad Boys record label are somewhere laughing and saying karma, because they got some bad contracts, right? Just like a lot of people in the music industry, whether it's a Black producer company or a more mainstream one, that happens. You get bad contracts. And I'm sorry, Diddy, it sounds like you got a bad contract and you knew it was a bad contract when you got into it. The brand was already struggling and you helped it grow. Why do you not, and I could be talking and not knowing enough information, but why don't you have more people on your team moving your stuff forward? You're in a partnership. You should have people on your team promoting your brand. When they bring in those documents, they acquired Casamigo, they acquired Don Julio. Are they going to bring in documents and show that Don Julio brought in 15 of their own members and the only people on their team from DOGO is 3 other people, while Diddy only has 3 and then DOGO has 14? Like, what is the workload split on these teams would be my question. Are Diddy's employees the ones that's supposed to be reaching out and try to sell these things? Or is it just he has a partnership on paper, but he doesn't actually have any what do you call it? Any employees actually working for him to promote it? Which one is it? I would like to know more. I would definitely like to know more. Tiny D says, oh, Chantel, you beat me to it. He's played all of his artists. I was thinking that as I was reading. Didn't they say he stole? Aren't they trying to say he's behind some things? For those that know, you know. Okay, I don't want to go all into the conspiracies of Diddy, okay? And I'm not even like a person that's just like super against Diddy. This is just rubbing me the wrong way. I don't think this one adds up for me. Chantel says to Tanya D, he sure did. Some of those artists still talk about how he still owes them a lot of money. And now he's trying to get that money from the alcohol company. And you would think, okay, why not just back out of the contract and do your own thing? Maybe there's like a time limit that you can't do your own thing. Sure. But the thing is, these alcohol brands are probably what's making him the most money. So he's going to have to come after them, because is he still, I mean, I'm sure he's still producing some music, but I don't know. I'm not a music connoisseur, but I would say he's not as big of a name in music as he used to be. Tiny D says, unless I hear more, it sounds like he signed a bad deal or just signed with a shady company. They were doing bad when you met them. That's like finding someone that is doing bad and saying, but he has so much potential. I want to, make him grow into this billionaire. This is going to be my husband. He has so much potential. And then he robs you the first night he spends the night. That's what it sounds like when girls try to make a bad boy good. That's what it sounds like to me. Cheryl Reed says, look, it's probably harder for him now. He's different and the environment is different. He is not as popular as he was. Good point. He is not as popular as he was. Like I said, I don't think he's as big of a name in music as he used to be. I don't think people be like, man, I want Diddy to produce my next track. I gotta sign with Bad Boy. I don't think anyone's out. And I could be wrong because I'm not a music connoisseur. But like I said, I don't think anyone's out there talking about I gotta sign with Bad Boy. Because there's some conspiracies about Bad Boy, okay? Tanya D says he definitely isn't, Cheryl. Not as popular, no. Chantel says his rep definitely took a hit after Kim Porter, the mother of his 4 children, suddenly died. You think that affected his brand? Tiny D says, yep. Cheryl says, Chantel, great point. Yes, of course. Chantel says, very sloppy business practices for someone who was once worth $700 million. It sounds like a bad deal to me. I don't think it's because you're Black. I think there's other issues with Diddy in general, other than the fact that he's Black. And I don't know, I can't really spit out the facts, but I heard, and I haven't fact checked this, but Black people are like the highest consuming race of people. So why would it be a negative thing to promote it to Black people? Like I said, the only reason why I know about Casamigos, the only reason why I know about Don Julio, other than it being in Costco, is because that's what Black people drink. Same thing with Patron. I don't got no business having Patron. I need to be on the dollar brand, the dollar brand tequila, right? At 21. But you see everybody drinking Patron, you're like, I gotta get Patron. It's expensive. Let me get Patron. And then they was like, Patron is expensive and Casamigo tastes a little bit better. It's a little bit cheaper. Let's get Casamigo. Don Julio is expensive too. I thought Don Julio was a cheap brand up until I saw it for $40 for a small little bottle in Costco. I was like, oh, this is on Patron level. I didn't know that. Okay. Cheryl Reed says, sounds like he needs a better attorney and a team. Right. Let's do a civil rights breach of contract. We are going to file a civil rights breach of contract complaint. I don't know about that, buddy. They are not your employer. I don't know how this is going to work out for you. Fig says, yay, I finally caught a live. Welcome into the live. It's getting crazy with Diddy's case. I did not think I would get this heated over this case or this animated over this case, but here we are. Here we are. Fig says, glad to have made it. Yes. Chantel says, Casamigos was founded by Hollywood favorite George Clooney and Cindy Crawford's husband, Rondé Gerber. Major star power. And so maybe they were selling to the more fancy. I'm pretty sure Kendall Jenner brand is doing better than freaking P. Diddy's brand because she's famous right now. P. Diddy, you're not who you used to be. I'm sorry. Maybe you should have been focusing on that instead of trying to date Young Miami. You for sure drinking Casamigos. I need to get off the internet before I get sued. Okay, Rachel Mills says, is Diddy or Jay-Z who owns Rock Nation? Is Jay-Z. Rachel Mills says, it's entertainment industry in general. I mean, look at SAG and WGA, which is the Writers Guild and the Actors Guild that are on strike right now. And Megan Thee Stallion, yeah. Fig says, thank you. Haven't seen one in a minute. Well, we're happy to have you live here. Rachel Mill says, Megan and Keisha are still trying to get out of their toxic contracts. Yes, it happens all the time. Jay-Z on Rock Nation, says Tiny. Yes. Hello Smoky says, Bree, did Diddy? Bree, like Diddy knew who he was from the jump. You knew exactly who you were, and you knew who they were when you signed up to work with them. Blake Kevin E says, I've never even heard of Casamigos. Really? I never heard of Casamigos until like 2021. And like I said, maybe they were marketing to the fancy people. And when I say fancy people, Diddy is saying they're not marketing his stuff to the fancy people who he would consider to be white people. Apparently, black people are not fancy enough to make his brand blow up like how they made Ciroc blow up, okay? Because I don't think the fancy people was watching your music videos when Ciroc blew up. Cheryl Reed cracking up. Right, it's Jazzy G coming in, cracking up. Welcome into the live stream. Chantel says, sound like he expected special treatment and assumed they would not, they would do more. He will need a smoking gun for a racism claim. But even if he gets the racism claim, all he's doing this for is for public interest because this adds nothing to his breach of contract claim. This is a private agreement between private companies. This is not the government discriminating against hiring you because you're black. That's just not what this is right here. This is a contract not going right for you and you're getting an attitude about it. And who made that comment that this was that Casamigos was made by, who was it? George freaking Clooney? You don't think he has employees in there pushing his stuff? You don't think George Clooney has more star power than freaking P. Diddy in like the masses? I'm thinking they got a little bit more money. Okay, I think he has a little bit more money and I think he has a little bit more star power and I think he has a little bit more pull. Okay, P. Diddy is living in Atlanta wanting to sell in California while George Clooney is living in California selling in California where all his friends are that probably buys his stuff. So, yeah. Sorry, that was a rant that I did not mean to go on. And this was from Chantel giving us the deets. And I'm not fact checking. We're going to trust Chantel knows what she's talking about. So we're not fact checking. But if it really is owned by Casamigos, then I see why they're exploding over Diddy's Tequila that I never even knew he had. Because I don't know who's following Diddy at this point. I don't follow Diddy. The only reason why Diddy is even like relevant in my head, other than his 2000s music that I listen to, that he may have allegedly or not stolen, is because he was trying to date Young Miami with his old self. Okay, from the City Girls. But there's so much more in this complaint. We may have to circle back and go through it a little bit more, but I do want to get over to our Dirty Dough update. I did not, like I said, I had a bunch of stuff pulled up and then it disappeared when my computer did a malfunction earlier. And thank you everyone for joining in today, because I did have technical difficulties and the live stream did start late, but I definitely appreciate you guys hanging in there and joining me late tonight. Okay, let's go ahead and jump into our Dirty Dough and Crumble stuff. And so for those of you that are new to the channel or haven't been following me for a while or just missed this particular case, we are talking about the cookie wars. We're talking about Crumble Cookie, one of the more popular franchise cookie branches, suing a bunch of other cookie branches, some smaller, some of the same size, some of a little bit smaller, right? And in particular, we are focused more on the Dirty Dough one because they came back with some social media sass against Crumble, letting them know that they are not copying them. Crumble is under the impression that the brothers that started Dirty Dough tried to worked for Crumble. One of them worked for Crumble, and then both of them applied to be franchisees of Crumble, got denied, and decided to start their own cookie business that looks similar, allegedly, right? Okay, let's see. I'll probably come back to some of these chats in a little bit, talking a little bit more about Diddy. Y'all know my chat is a little behind because we have closed captioning on, but that's okay. We can still get to the chats. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to remind y'all of the case. Let me make it a little bit bigger than me. So this is Crumble Cookie. This is what their design is. What they're saying is that these other cookie companies are stealing their trade dress. So like the design of the things that they make, like the boxes, the colors, the whimsical characters is one of the things that they say is being stolen. I'm sorry, y'all, I keep moving around because I decided to wear shorts and now my legs is sticking to the seat because it is like 109 degrees out here. But other than that, okay, the whimsical drawings, all the things, right? They're saying that these companies are copying them. They did the same thing against Crave. But today we are focused on Dirty Dough. They also said they specially made these boxes to where it's only 4 cookies fit in here. And then these ones with only 6 cookies. They said this is like dang near a patentable box because it perfectly fits the 4 cookies. They have these little singular boxes for when you only order 1 cookie that they charge you $6 for. And the cookies are allegedly not even good. My sister worked at Crumbl. I had some Crumble. I don't really like it too much. This is their trademark logo with the little cookie half bitten out of it, which is a common cookie styled logo. This is the design of their Crumble cookie box for the 4 cookies that fit in there perfectly. Let's see. What else did they have here? Okay. And then this is their little Facebook. They got all their little pretty cookies. They are quite visually appealing, right? And apparently when you go there and you get a cookie and it's not made perfectly, they have to throw it away and make the cookie for you again. Not the stupid cookie. They have to make it for you again if you don't think it's perfect. So I wonder how their business is doing now. They charge $6 for a cookie. This is Dirty Dough, the feisty small cookie companies. I would say a small franchise because they have a couple locations. Who they sued, who also has pretty cookies, not as perfect, but still pretty nonetheless, right? Gourmet cookies, they're gonna have designs on it. So they say, hey, it's not that big of a deal. They also have a box where it's just 1 cookie fits in there. And they also have a one where there's 4 cookies that goes in there. They have similar types of flavors, which how many different gourmet cookie flavors can you make? Basically, what they're alleging is that you stole our business model. You copied us is what they're alleging. We got Dirty Dough. We got, or is that Crumble? Oops, see, that's what they're saying. I think this one's Dirty Dough. This is Crumble. That people can confuse it. Then we have this over here is Crumble, and then Dirty Dough. They're saying they have a bit in cookie, but again, that's a very common logo for a cookie spot. Again, bit and cookie over here. So they're saying that, hey, Dirty Dough, you copied us. Now, where they may have a better claim against Dirty Dough is that they literally tried to also franchise a Crumble, and when they were denied, they started their own Crumble business. They started their own Dirty Dough business. Again, here's the cookie box with 4 from Dirty Dough. They claim that they have similar whimsical designs, which are these like very basic type of drawings that are still cute. 4 box cookies, but guess what? Theirs don't fit in there perfectly because all of theirs are different shape because they don't worry about being super perfect like Crumble does. Again, here we go. We have some similar flavors as them. Crumble's pictures look a little dusty. Dirty Dough's look a little bit better to me. The 1 cookie box, same thing. So they're saying they are being copied. They have a weekly rotation. Again, same type of business model. They're saying that they stole. Let's see. I think that's all my pictures that I wanted to go through. Sorry for making y'all dizzy real quick. Okay. Yeah, so that is just a quick reminder of the case that we're talking about. Let me grab something to sit on because this is very uncomfortable. I will be right back. We got to take a brief intermission once I figure out how to turn off the camera. Okay. I need something. Oh. Okay, that is better. Okay, we are back. All right, so that is just a reminder of what's going on with Dirty Dough. We briefly talked about this on Tuesday's stream. You guys said that you wanted an update on it, so I went and got an update for you. To tell you guys the truth, it's exactly what I said is going on. They're in the discovery phase. It's not much happening other than Dirty Dough not giving them the information that they're requesting in the way that they want, that they are requesting it. In the Crave case, same things are going on. They're in the discovery phase and getting ready to set everything to go to trial and everything. But they definitely have a lot less filings in the Crave case than they do in the Dirty Dough case. Dirty Dough has been consistently asked to provide answers to certain questions that we are going to take a look at. What does Crumbl want to know? What do they want to know? What do they think they copied? What kind of information do they believe will win the case? Crumbl also is very communicative between their attorneys to Dirty Dough's attorneys. There's been some withdrawal of attorneys. I haven't had the opportunity to look all the way into whose attorneys are withdrawing. Does that mean that they have a bad case? Does that mean that they just hired a bad lawyer to begin with? I am going to assume that is Dirty Dough's attorneys withdrawing, but again, I have not looked at it all the way, so don't take that as, fact, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and jump in the chat so I can try to catch up, get all the P. Diddy things out the way, and then we'll go on to Dirty Dough. Just kind of give y'all a refresher of what's going on there. Okay, we got that one. Blake Kevin says, Ellen taught me what Don Julio was. Ellen DeGeneres? Chantel says, George and Randy sold Casamigos after it became a hit, and it was probably still associated with their name. Cheryl Reed says, I love it when you rant, Brie. Sometimes they get out of control, but thanks. Jazzy G says, just tuned in, but heard Diddy's Tequila also wasn't that great. And that's another factor that plays into it. He keeps saying, oh, well, I talked to all these people that said they wanted to buy it. But I'm like, who are these people? Are these bottles really selling out, or are they really doing bad in the stores? Those are questions that need answers. I don't know. Maybe you should do the watermelon flavor. I don't know about watermelon flavored tequila, but okay. Rachel Mills says, I don't follow celebrity drink endorsements. The only ones I know were Britney Spears pushing Pepsi and Snoop Dogg and Corona. Snoop Dogg and Corona. I forgot about that one. Okay, yeah. I'm not a super celebrity person other than covering them on my channel for content. I've never really been like a super hardcore follower of any celebrity, so I definitely feel you that on feel you on that, Rachel. Fig says, "Wait, Diddy was trying to get with one of the city girls, hand covering eyes." Yeah, he was dating Young Miami. If he's not still dating her right now, the city girl. Blake Kevin says, I don't really like crumble cookies. I don't think a lot of people like crumble cookies. They're not that great. Buama goes, hello, welcome in. Nice to see you tonight. Summer Butterfly says, ouch. Jazzy G says, yeah, like not good quality tequila, but I'm no tequila connoisseur. I like tequila. I wouldn't say I'm a connoisseur. I like it. If it's not sharp, it's not aggressive. I even drink the Kirkland brand tequila from Costco. So it's not, but I can only imagine maybe it's not of good quality. I mean, they're saying they use the same agave plants, but apparently they pushed him out of it. I don't know. Afik says $6. Yeah, I could be lying, but I'm pretty sure those cookies are $6 a piece. I could be lying, but I think it is. I never actually bought a crumble cookie. I've just had them given to me from my husband, bringing them from work. I never bought one though. And I think Alpha also bought me some before too. Blake says their cookies are overpriced. We have a donut shop in my city. You can get 2 donuts bigger than your head, cheaper than 2 crumble cookies. I bet they overcharge. Jazzy G says, Figs, he is dating one of the city girls, Young Miami. I thought they broke up recently, but maybe they are still dating. Hello Swanky says, this lawsuit is still silly to me, a waste of money, but at least somebody's getting paid, I guess. Yeah, the lawyers. Diddy's still not going to get paid from his contract. Tiny D says, that's so wasteful to throw the cookies away like that. Yeah, if it's not perfect, they're going to throw it away. Fig says, this reminds me of that Chipotle lawsuit we covered. I forgot who they sued, though. Boo Amago says, the one that the burrito bowl people. I remember that one. Yes. Boo Amago says, in my opinion, this lawsuit is ridiculous. The cookies or the P. Diddy one? Which one? Jazzy G says that Crumble filed the lawsuit. Crumble filed the lawsuit against multiple different cookie places. The ones that come to mind are Crave and Dirty Dough, but I believe they sued someone else as well. Tanya D says, boo, I think most lawsuits are ridiculous. So I agree. A lot of it, he wants it to settle. He wants them to try to promote his brand, but if no one wants to drink your tequila, no one's going to drink your tequila. Like, I don't know what you want them to do. Sue Magic says, we've had insomnia cookies in Boston before. These companies better by far. I think we have an insomnia cookie around here too. I haven't tried it yet. I thought they were like weed cookies. Tiny C says, agree with Sue. Blake says, there's only so many ways you can make a box. There are really only so many ways you can make a box. Now, I had never seen 4 cookies boxed in that way, like in a straight line. But I also don't go to a lot of gourmet cookie spots, but I'm sure there's like cupcake places that do similar things. So I don't know. Blake says, like the cookies can only fit in there a certain way. Yeah, especially if it's a designer cookie that you want to like show the top of it, right? Sue says they are all way overpriced, like making my own better, but some night shifts need warm cookies or ice cream. Love seeing you, Brie. Well, thank you. Nice having you here on the live stream. I like making cookies too, but sometimes you're just lazy and you want to just go buy some. My go-to is going to be Mrs. Fields. Okay? Not Crumble cookie. Chantel says, and he had his 7th child with another woman while dating him. Messy boots. He is a messy boots for sure. Yeah, I did hear that he had it. Like, why are you having no ageism here, but why are you still trying to pop out kids at 50 and your kids are already like 20? I think his younger kids are maybe like 12, maybe 14. No, they just turned 16, huh? I don't know if he has anyone younger than them other than this new baby. Why are you still popping out kids? You have like 30-year-old kids. Like, just, you've been having kids for like 30 years. It's okay to stop, But I guess it's easy when you're a man, right? You don't really have to carry the baby. Hello Swanky says, I've come to realize people either love Crumble or really don't like them at all. It has almost a cult following in some spaces. Yeah, because one of the big things about their marketing was that they had that weekly rotating menu, and people will go there and be like, watch me taste this new Crumble cookie. Da, 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 da. So yeah, I feel you on that. Blake says, when the Crumble here me first one near me first opened, it was always busy because of the hype. Exactly. But now it's been 2 years, almost no one ever goes there. No more line, right? I remember when it was the hype. I remember when everyone was making YouTube videos about it. Hello Swanky says, oh no, I meant the cookie lawsuit is still silly. That's the one I'm saying is ridiculous and a waste of money. Yes, I would agree with it. After looking at some of the discovery, I do think that Crumble has a case. I'm gonna put it out there. I'm gonna let y'all decide on your own, but that's what I'm gonna put out there. I think that they do have a case based on some of the discovery. Is it gonna be worth a lot? I don't know. Boo Amago says the cookie lawsuit. Yes. Cookie wars. Rachel Mills says maybe his tequila doesn't taste good. That is probably one of the reasons why it's not selling. Hillswinky says nobody's tequila tastes good. That might also be true. That might also be true. High five to Hella Swinky says fine. Thing says they look like Krispy Kreme boxes. Hey, yes, those flat boxes. Did they copy Krispy Kreme? Who knows? Blake says they do. Hella Swinky says, I'm just saying. Let's see. Miss Phil's cookies. Yes, Bree, they are number one. They're always going to be number one, and they got a deal. You buy 3, get 1 free. That's my favorite deal. Been doing that deal since a very young age. Chantel says, I also love Mrs. Fields. My palate is simple considering I'm so picky. And I order the most basic cookies from there, and they don't really have that many options as compared to like these rotating schedule freaking new age gourmet cookies that all the children like to Instagram and things like that. But I always get 2 cinnamon sugar, milk chocolate chip, and the M&M cookies. They have some other flavors, but I always get those for my buy 3, get 1 free. Hello Swinky says, exactly. Crumble reminds me of Apple. It's more about the brand image, hype, marketing than the product itself. No shade, iPhone users, promise. I just mean the brand is carrying the company. That is true. That's true for a lot of stuff, especially with like designer stuff. Like sometimes, because my husband likes designer stuff, and sometimes I'm like, this just seems like regular stuff, but it just has a name on it, so then it's like 10 times more expensive. Some of the stuff is nice and worth the name, but to be honest, a lot of it is pretty much the same quality as regular stuff. Rachel Mills says, if Britney Spears came out with tequila, I'd buy it. Exactly. Depending on who your celebrity is, you're going to buy it. I just don't think P. Diddy is that guy anymore. I just don't think he's that guy. It's too much stuff coming out about him. Fig says, I like the cookies at the mall that sell them cookie cakes. That is Mrs. Fields. That's Mrs. Fields. I'm telling you guys. Mrs. Fields, hands down, been around the longest, best cookies out there. I have not met another cookie store that has done better. Maybe like a small mom and pop shop may have some better cookies, but Mrs. Fields, I don't know. They're not beating Mrs. Fields. This is not an endorsement of Mrs. Fields because I don't get sponsorships on this channel. Okay, let's go ahead and jump into it. We are in the discovery phase. So the discovery phase is where the parties can ask questions of one another. Who are you? Who owns you? What kind of cookies do you make? Where did you get your marketing technique from? They can ask you whatever questions they want to ask you, and that's Alpha's doing something. But yes, they can ask you whatever questions they want to ask you. So we're going to look at some of the questions because it's a lot. This document I downloaded is like 52 pages. So we're not going to go through everything, but we're going to go through some of the stuff. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Boom. Sorry, y'all. I got my chair all the way up. It's bumping into my desk. All right, so here we go. This is the motion filed by Crumble Cookies saying, pursuant to this code, plaintiffs Crumble Respectfully move the court to compel defendant Dirty Dough to correct deficiency in its responses to Crumbl's discovery request. Exhibit 1, Crumble certifies that it complied with this code through telephonic meet and confer effort, basically saying that they already asked, they sent the documents to Dirty Dough. Dirty Dough did not comply, so they followed up with them and say, hey, can you comply? And they didn't do it. So here we are. They are filing a motion saying, hey, we asked discovery questions and within the scope of the discovery that we can ask, and Dirty Dough failed to comply with those questions. So now we are coming to you, court, to ask you to make them comply with those questions that we asked you. Here we go, or that we asked them. General deficiencies first. Dirty Dough's boilerplate objections lack specificity required by Rule 34B2B. See Exhibit 4. Second, request for production number 6 to comply with the express requirements of the section because Dirty Dough has not stated whether it's withholding any responsive material based on each objection. Responses are deficient because they do not state whether any responsive material are being withheld on the basis of this objection. Are you objecting but supplying the documents, or are you just plain objecting is what they're asking for? Deficient interrogatories. Interrogatories are just questions that you ask and they respond in writing. Dirty Dough has failed to provide complete answers to interrogatory number 1, 3, and 5. In each instance, Dirty Dough either failed to provide all relevant, all requested information, or has provided answers that are inconsistent with the record evidence, leading Crumble to believe that the answers are inaccurate and incomplete. See Exhibit 4 at 2 through 4 and Exhibit 5. Additionally, in responses to interrogatory number 7, Dirty Dough asserted boilerplate objections and failed to provide any substantive response. See Exhibit 4 and 5. Dirty Dough must provide accurate, complete answers to interrogatories number 1, 3, 5, and 7. And then they cite a case. They have deficiencies for the production responses. When they ask for production of things, they're asking you to produce them with documents or whatever type of evidence that you have in support of those requests. With respect to requests for production number 1, Dirty Dough's representation that it has produced all responsive documents is inconsistent with the record evidence. Therefore, the production is incomplete. Additionally, Dirty Dough has failed to provide all requested documents responsive to RFP number 2, 5, and 6. Dirty Dough must produce all responsive documents in its possession with respect to these requests. Finding defendants in contempt where he failed to comply with order granting motion to compel regarding incomplete responses to discovery requests despite having access to responsive documents and information. What they're basically saying is that Dirty Dough is hiding information, they're hiding documents, they're hiding answers, they're not answering truthfully, and they're omitting things. Maybe they're not lying, but they're omitting things is what they are alleging. Now, when we first did this complaint, we were on Crumble, we were on Dirty Dough's side because they had the sass and everything else. But now they are coming off as secretive, deceptive, and that could really lose them the lawsuit, especially if it does come out that they did copy Crumble. Crumble, you didn't hire us. You didn't want us to franchise you. So yeah, we did copy you and we did better. That could be what's happening here. And the fact that they are allegedly not responding could be evidence of the fact that they copied them, even if they don't come out right and say that they copied them. Wherefore, for the foregoing reasons, Crumble respectfully requests that the court order Dirty Dough to cure all deficiencies identified above. What do you guys think about it so far? Do you think it's reflected bad on people when they don't respond, or do you think they should just respond and give all the information? Now, sometimes in my own practice of doing discovery, people will just object and they would be boilerplate objection. It's kind of like, not to say customary, but sometimes it is customary that they will give these boilerplate objections. You won't get the answers that you want, but Crumble is really pushing. This document that I'm reading from you guys is from October. They also have one from January. They also have one from March. So they are constantly sending Dirty Dough questions and requests for production in which they believe that Dirty Dough is not fully compliant with, and then so they're bringing motions to the court. Now, that same issue is not happening with Crave Cookies. Crave Cookies is providing them with the documents that they're asking for. So why is there so many of these motions being filed in Dirty Dough? Are they being secretive, or is Crumble just not asking good questions? I would assume that they're asking them pretty much the same questions. Like, why would they? I would just send the same set of interrogatories because they're pretty much alleging the same thing against both companies. Okay, so here we go. Let's go ahead and go into the instructions for the discovery request to the defendant. So we're going to see what questions did Crumbl Cookie ask to Dirty Dough. What do they want to know? When you get these type of documents, they're really annoying because they give you these long explanations of what everything means. The term including means including but not limited to. The terms relating to means in whole or in part, constituting, containing, relating, concerning, discussing, describing, analyzing, identifying, evidencing, referring to, consisting of, or stating. So it lets us know what each of these documents mean, meaning that anything you got, give it to us. Okay? Anything. Identify it. Let us know what it is. Okay. So all of that was rules and definitions and everything. We're just now getting to the questions. We're on page 5, and we're just bottom of page 5, and we're just now getting to the questions. These are the interrogatories, which, as I said earlier, are just questions that they ask in writing, and they expect Dirty Dough to respond in writing. So the first one is state the ownership structure of Dirty Dough LLC, including the names and percentage ownerships of each current and former owner, and identify the title or role that all such owners have or had in Dirty Dough. Now, this is one of the ones that said they failed to comply with. According to Crumbl, they did not give all of that information that was requested. Interrogatory number 2. Identify all owners, employees, former employees, or representatives of Dirty Dough that ever applied to be employed by a franchise or franchise salesman for Crumbl, including the name, date of the application, and state the result of that application. So they're basically asking, survey your employees and figure out who has applied to Crumbl and who has worked there and what happened with the application. Identify all owners, former employees, or representatives of Dirty Dough that are employees or former employees of Crumbl, including the name of the former Crumbl employee, the title those persons held at Crumbl, and the date those persons were employed at Crumbl. That's a little ridiculous because you got to go back. I mean, I guess they haven't been open that long, but you have to go back and figure out everyone and say, hey, let me look at your resume. Oh, you applied to Crumbl? Why'd you apply to Crumbl? Did you get hired? Blah, blah, blah. You have to do all of that, which it seems a bit ridiculous. Number 4, identify all Dirty Dough owners, employees, or former employees who have access to or who have ever had access to information and documents created, generated, or owned by Crumbl, and provide a description of that information of those documents. 5, another one they're saying they didn't answer clearly. Identify all documents and things concerning Crumbl or referring or relating to Crumbl that any owners, employees, or former employees took or removed from Crumbl's offices, files, or computer systems, including by downloading, uploading, transferring, photocopy, photographing, emailing, or any other method. What y'all steal from us? Tell me what you stole from us. You screenshotted, you copied our web design, you took the code from our website. Like, what did you do to copy us? Okay. Number 6, state the type of storage system, Google Drive or other cloud storage system, computer hard drive servers, USB drives that Dirty Dough uses to keep, save, and or maintain information, and state the location of each storage system. They want to be able to do discovery on those things. You said that you have a Google Drive. I want access to your Google Drive. I want all the documents in your Google Drive. Don't dispose of any of that information. Identify each of your owners, employees, or former employees who have or ever had access to each type of storage system identified in the interrogatory. And number 6, do any of these people overlap with the people that had access to your storage system? So did they steal from us and then put it into your storage system? That is another question that they said was not complied with. Question number 8. Identify all information, documents, and or things belonging to Crumble, concerning Crumble, or related to, or relating or referring to Crumble that you have ever had on any of the storage systems identified in the interrogatory. Did they say, don't make these cookies like Crumble because we don't want to be perfect like them. We want good cookies, not perfect cookies like Crumble. Like, they want all of that information. Interrogatory number 9, identify the name of the persons responsible for communicating a litigation hold or delivering a litigation hold notice related to this lawsuit and state the date of the communication or notice. Alpha's out there having a party. Well, I'm in here working. I'm working hard. Okay. Identify number 10, identify all social media accounts used by Dirty Dough, all the places where you all antagonized us, or its employees, affiliates, or franchisees for communications related to Dirty Dough, the plaintiffs, and the claims of the complaint. And number 11, describe the development of Dirty Dough's franchise systems, including but not limited to identifying all individuals involved in developing the franchise system, locating potential franchisees, and determining the potential franchise location, i.e., you applied to be a franchise with us. So did you steal our processes when you applied? Did you steal our application when you applied? All of the things. Ooh, okay. Because guess what? It's a known fact that they did apply to be a franchise, okay? That's a known fact. Okay, let me go ahead and jump in the chat real quick, and then I'm going to come back to the request for production of documents. Let's see. I'm just going back up. Okay. Hello Swingy says, yes, definitely. Prime example of the brand being the strongest thing about the company, carrying the company. They can release anything and people will buy it. Yeah, and sometimes the stuff is ugly, right? And Crumble might be trying to make that brand for themselves. Blake says, Crumble Cookie has been caught suing Betty Crocker Mix. What? Oh, I got to find that one. You know we got to get into that. Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. I feel like I saw that somewhere. I'm going to find it. Afik says, oh, then yes, yes. Rachel Mills says Toll House cookies. I don't like Toll House. I'm not a Nestle. I'm not a Nestle fan. Hello Swaggy says, your designer stuff example is what I'm referring to in my previous message. Yeah, I actually caught on to that one easy. Tanya D says, showing my age, but when Guess came out, I begged my mom for a pair of jeans and she was not having it. And for what? So your butt can say Guess on the back. Tanya D says, she said she could sew a triangle in the pocket because that's all it was, all about the brand names. Yes, that is true. Chantel says to Blake, not Betty Crocker was the store out of Duncan Hines. Blake says, I don't remember to Chantel. Let's see. Mary Malarkey says, just check. Miss Fields are 40% off right now. You all made me hungry and I'm going shopping. Yeah, you can actually order Mrs. Fields cookies for delivery too. I used to always go on their website wanting to order like a box of cookies. I am showing my greediness right now. I used to try to order a box of cookies not to send to someone else, but for myself. How many cookies can I get at one time? But then I just learned how to make my own cookies. Oh my gosh. Oh, Sue Magic had to get a job to get the first designer jeans. Yes. That's one thing I will like. I will buy a purse. And when I say a purse, I will buy a purse. Well, okay, no, because I buy Coach purses. But is Coach really designer for some people, like Black people? Coach is big designer for Black people. I'm not going to lie. So, yes, I'll buy a Coach purse. I bought one purse that is $600, but I use it all the time and it is still in pristine condition. So I would 10 out of 10 probably buy that purse or a similar kind of purse like that again. Everything else designer that I have, other than my Coach purses and this one bag that I bought, my husband bought because he likes designer stuff, and so he gifts designer things. But lies, I buy him designer things, but I don't not buy myself designer things. My jeans come from Ross. And no, my jeans come from Macy's, but they're the ones that like every time you go in the store, they're on sale for $20. Like every time you go in the store, they're on sale. I think they're called like Celebrity Brand or something like that. They're like in the junior section. Only place where I get my jeans. So no, I would not buy. Designer clothing is one thing that I cannot find myself to buy. Like leather products, sure, you may get me there, but clothes for myself, no. Clothes for my husband if he asks for it. But I'm going to feel very angry the whole time I'm doing it. Let me see. Blake says not responding does make you look bad. It's like you have nothing to hide, then why not respond? Yeah, or do the omission. Guilt by omission here. Kate P says, woke up at 5 and couldn't go back to sleep, but not quite so annoyed to see that I can catch you live from CA to Austria. Well, thank you. Welcome into the live stream. We are just here being silly and covering our lawsuits, so we're happy that you're joining us. Fake says, dang, they're mad. Yes, they are mad. Cheryl Reed says, are the owners of the company siblings? Yes, they're brothers. Jazzy G says, definitely looks bad. I would agree. And these questions that they're asking, they're not, okay, some of the questions are hard to answer because, like, how I'm supposed to know if one of my random employees that didn't put it, I mean, this is a cookie place, right? This is not, a corporate job. These are probably teenagers applying to all the stores in which they can apply to. You want me to go back and find every single applicant that applied to me that potentially applied to Crumble because they also applied to Jamba Juice, Starbucks, Mrs. Fields Cookies, all those stores that teenagers work at for the most part. So I think some of those will be hard to answer, especially if the kids forgot they applied to those places. Tanya, welcome in KP. Yes, of course. Sorry you can't sleep through the night, but we're happy to have you here. Tiny D says you can't find out all former employees of they ever applied to Crumble. That's ridiculous. Yes, like this is a cookie place. I don't remember providing a resume in high school when I applied for jobs. And most people that are applying for a Crumble cookie or a Dirty Dough job, most of them are going to be younger individuals who don't have a lot of work experience. So maybe don't have anything to put on their application. And who the heck is putting it on their application? I applied for Crumble, but I got rejected. Like, you want them to go back and find all of those people? Those questions are hard to answer. Chantel says, sounds like they are overreaching with some of the questions. I would agree. Blake says, using, not suing. Okay, I think that was something from earlier. Miriam Lackey says, I love purses and shoes, but I can't afford anything more than Macy's Coach is out of my league. Exactly. That's where I got most of my Coach bags. I got this cute little fanny pack from Coach. I went in there and bought like 3 Coach bags all in one day. And it was still less than my one Burberry bag that I bought. But like I said, the Burberry bag is in pristine condition. Like, I wear it everywhere, toss it around, been to the club with it, all kinds of stuff. And it is still tip-top condition, and I would buy another one. Hello Swanky says, is brand recognition / pop culture has made it one of the most popular knockoffs, which has really devalued the brands compared to other luxury brands. But yeah, Coach is still designer. Yeah, and a lot of people use it as designer. That was designer to me. I said, oh, I need to get myself a good purse. And I bought a Coach purse. And it's not going to be a lot of designer people are going to be looking at me like I'm crazy. But I don't think I could ever find myself to, like, Louis Vuitton bags are like cute, but I don't think I would ever find myself to buy a $5,000 bag. Not in this economy. I don't know. Maybe in the future when I'm rich, but right now I cannot see myself buying no Louis Vuitton bag for $5,000. Like, it's cute, but it's not that cute, okay? It's not that cute. Okay, let's get back into the request for production of documents. Produce all communications, documents, and things belonging to Crumble, concerning Crumble, or referring or relating to Crumble that any owners, employees, or former employees of Dirty Dough took or removed from Crumble's offices, files, or computer systems, including by downloading, uploading, transferring, photocopying, photographing, email, or any other method. They kind of already asked that in the interrogatories, but let's double down on it. 2, produce all communications and documents regarding, concerning, referring to Crumble that are located on any of the storage devices identified in number 6. What did you steal from us? Did you apply to Crumble? Yes, we know you applied to Crumble because I believe one of the brothers worked at Crumble. So, did you steal our application process? Did you steal our ingredients list? Did you steal our motto? I don't know, Produced for inspection on August 26, 2022. Remote access to any storage device identified in interrogatory number 6. We want to look in your business to see if you stole anything from us. Has ever contained any documents or information owned or created by Crumble or allowed Crumble's representatives, including third-party information technology professionals, to inspect and copy those storage devices. Produced for inspection. I'm not going to read this one because it's long and my voice is running out. Any devices which is going to have information related to Crumble on it. So laptops, tablets, things like that. Okay, come on. Produce all communication and documents relating to the use, transfer, deletion, or storage of any documents owned, created, or generated by Crumble or any Crumble's current or former employees. Did you send people to go apply for Crumble so you can steal their application? Did you send people to go work for Crumble so that you can steal their ingredients list or their box design? Produce all communications and documents related to the development of Dirty Dough's franchise system, including but not limited to communications and documents related to the development of the franchise systems, locating potential franchisees and determining potential franchise locations. Again, that is repetitive of something that they asked in the interrogatories. Produce all communication and documents related to the creation or registration of any social media accounts used by Dirty Dough or its employees, affiliates, franchises that have commented about any of the plaintiffs or any of the claims of the plaintiffs. Which accounts are you sending petty remarks to? What mess have you talked about us online? Sorry, y'all, I messed up my own my mic. Okay, here we go. We're gonna get into request for admission. So this, you just admit or deny. Admit or deny. Don't give me no explanation. You can give some explanation, but admit or deny. You want to be as vague as possible. Admit that Bradley Maxwell and Bennett Maxwell are brothers. Those are the owners. Admit that prior to May 2019, Bennett Maxwell reached out to Crumble about buying a Crumble franchise. Okay, Bennett. Admit that Crumble employed Bradley Maxwell in 2019. Okay, so Bradley is the one that worked for them. Bennett asked to be a franchisee. Did y'all steal anything when y'all was all up in our business? Admit that Crumble employed Bradley Maxwell as a process engineer in 2019. Woo! I did not know that's what he was hired for. I did not know that. I thought he was just making cookies. But a process developer, a process engineer? Oh, okay. Okay. Admit that is looking a little guilty. Like, we love the sass and all the things, but they're looking a little dirty. They're looking a little guilty to me, okay? Admit that in March 2019, Bradley Maxwell signed an employee confidentiality and non-competition agreement in connection with his employment with Crumble. Admit that in March 2019, Bradley Maxwell signed an employee confidential recipe agreement in connection with his employment to Crumble. I wonder if my sister signed that agreement. Can she not use Crumble recipes? Those things are thick and over caloried anyways. I don't think anybody wants them recipes, to tell you the truth. Admit that in March 2019, Bradley Maxwell signed a principal confidential recipe agreement in connection with his employment with Crumble. Admit that as of May 20, 2019, Bradley Maxwell and Bennett Maxwell each owned an Equal State and Dirty Dough LLC. Dang, y'all worked for them in March and started the business in May? I don't know. Admit that Dirty Dough has in its possession information belonging to Crumble, including Crumble recipes. Bradley, did you steal our recipe? Bradley, did you steal our processes to start your own company? I don't know. I don't know. Admit that Bradley, dang, a lot of stuff is on Bradley. Okay. Admit that Bradley Maxwell provided Crumble information to Dirty Dough because he worked for us. We know he stole from us. That is what they're saying. Admit that Dirty Dough has asked employees to use Crumble recipes to develop Dirty Dough. Admit that Dirty Dough has asked employees to use Crumble recipe to develop Dirty Dough cookies. Ooh, guess what, y'all? We don't have the answer to these ones because these really only get filed when someone's not complying. And so they probably complied with the answers of this. And they can't be like, oh, you denied it, but you're lying. They can't bring that to the court to say, oh, they're lying, and get them not to lie. They can't do that. They have to just answer it to the best of their ability, right? Admit that Dirty Dough uses Google Drive to store information. Dang, you all up in our business. And no, I don't want to give you access to my Google Drive, you weirdo. Okay, so those were the questions that they asked. Here we have emails going back and forth between them, letting them know like, hey, you didn't answer properly. You're using boilerplate objections. We need you to answer properly. They're trying to meet and confer and resolve this outside of court, which is what you're supposed to do. We're not going to read through all of that because that's a lot of words and I don't got that many words left in my brain. Let's see here. I think I'll go through the last one, the last paragraph. If Dirty Dough is willing to amend its responses to address each of the issues outlined in this letter, please let us know and provide a date on which we can expect to receive Dirty Dough's amended responses. Otherwise, we would like to meet and confer regarding these issues as soon as possible. It is our hope that we can resolve these issues so that the parties can avoid motion practice, which means just filing a motion because they're not compliant. Dirty Dough must rectify the foregoing deficiencies in its responses as soon as possible. However, or Crumble will seek immediate relief from the court. We're going to file against you if you don't hurry up and give us our information. Please let us know when you are available this week to meet and confer. Talk about it. Crumble expressly reserves all rights, including but not limited to the notification of additional deficiencies in defendants' discovery responses and document production not set forth in this letter. We look forward to addressing and resolving these issues. Trying to meet and confer, trying to get an agreement going. Here is some more stuff going on that they talk about in discovery. Give me a moment. Okay. This is, hi, Jared. Thanks for the call today. I wanted to follow up on a few items. Any stipulations is contingent on coming to a final written agreement on all terms. Basically, while Crumble is hopeful we'll be able to reach an agreement on some of the requested relief and work with Dirty Dough to do so, until we have done so, Crumble will continue to seek relief from the court. We would like to settle this. Translation, we would like to settle this. But if you keep playing around with us, we're going to keep going to the court. We'd be happy to enter into an agreement, but y'all are playing games and we want our money and we want you to stop promoting things near us or like us. The first three items of relief is the PI related to identifying, returning, and verifying the return of Crumble information. Why? They already used it. This is why I would not be a good civil attorney. They already use it, okay? In family law, it'd be like, well, he took an extra day of vacation, and they go and tell the court. The court is like, okay, that was 3 months ago. What do you want us to do about it now? I cannot go into civil practice. As you know, we are seeking revised discovery responses to address the deficiencies that was previously identified. You agreed to provide those on Friday. will need to review those before finalizing any stipulation because so far Dirty Dough's representations regarding whether it has Crumbl's information and whether it has returned it at all have been false or incomplete. We know you have our stuff. Give it back. But if they copy it, oh my gosh, it just gets messy. Okay. Are you going to allow them to still keep a cookie company? Are they going to have to change their recipes, or are they just going to have to change their design? What are you asking them for? I want to know, what stipulations are you guys talking about? Like what will make this stop? And then when they settle, we won't know. I want them to go to trial so that we know. I understand that you previously confirmed that some of the Crumble information was stored electronically. Oh, they admitted to having the Crumble information. Oh, this is juicy. Live reactions are the best. I understand that you previously confirmed that some of the Crumble information was stored electronically on Google Drive. We did not receive metadata for the prior Dirty Dough production. The stipulated scheduling order contains a provision regarding ESI and requires the production of metadata so that they can track like if it was there and deleted and who deleted it and stuff like that. This metadata is especially relevant in this matter where the possession and access may be at issue. Did you copy it and then give it back to us? Can you please confirm that you will be producing metadata and that you will include it in the production on Friday? So they admitted to having Crumble information in their Google Drive, which probably means they did copy some of their stuff. Okay, so like I said, it's looking guilty to me, and that's why they're talking about stipulations. They still want their stuff back. Dirty Dough says, thanks, or somebody says, thanks for sending a proposal. Are you available today to discuss some details? I think Dirty Dough says, Crumble says, with respect to your proposal that the parties stipulate to the first 4 items in Crumble's PI motion. What's PI motion? I can't think of what that stands for. We are open to entering into a stipulated preliminary injunction with Dirty Dough if we can come to an agreement on the details of the proposed stipulation. For example, although there are other parameters for the forensic examination that the parties will need to discuss, Crumble will not agree to limit that examination to only Crumble information in Dirty Dough's possession. Crumble is entitled to know the extent of Dirty Dough's possession, disclosure, and use of Crumble trade secrets and cannot make that evaluation based simply on the examination of Crumble's own information. Any stipulation will require forensic examination of Dirty Dough's company-wide electronic storage system. If this is agreeable, let us know. If you want to send us your proposed step for our review, and if you would prefer that we put something together in the first instance. Okay. So basically what they're asking for is to go through everything that's in their database. So what Dirty Dough is probably avoiding, they're like, hey, we do have some Crumble information. We'll give you all the Crumble information, but we don't want you to then have like Dirty Dough's contract. Or maybe we also applied to Crave and we have some of their information and we don't want you to know that we have their information. So they're trying to keep it to a limit. Like, hey, anything that relates to Crumble, we'll hand it over. But anything that relates to just us, our processes in itself, you can't have. But Crumble's like, no, because your processes may have some of Crumble's processes in it. So we want to see it so we can compare. Or maybe you stole from somebody else and maybe we might want to tell them. I don't know. I'm just being extra right now. But yeah. They're like, no, we need to see everything because we don't want you hiding anything anymore. You've hid enough, okay? Then they go on to say, Jared, thanks for your time during our call this morning. To recap, we agreed to narrow the scope of the interrogatories numbers 6 and 7 to any storage system that have contained information, documents, or things belonging to Crumble, concerning Crumble, or relating to or referring to Crumble. So they decided to give up on the we want everything. In other words, we agreed to narrow the scope of the request for the interrogatories, and 6 and 7 to match the scope of ROG 8. We agreed to serve amended responses and produce documents by next Friday, September 30th. I will coordinate with my team regarding your requests relating to the first four items of relief in the PI motion, protocol, and forensic examination. We might have to look at what they asked for the preliminary injunction. This is another filing with the court, or this is Dirty Doe supplemental responses to the first request. Okay, let's see. What is your ownership structure? We wanted to know what their answer was. The response was, defendant objects to interrogatory number 1 on the ground that it seeks information not relevant to the party's claim or defenses or likely to lead to the discovery of admissible evidence. Without waiving this objection, defendant responds that it is producing under separate covered document containing information responsive to the interrogatory number 1. In addition to those documents, defendant responds that the current ownership structure is B. Maxwell Enterprises, 71.55%, Rumison Operation LLC, 19.51%, Cody Curtis, whoever the heck that is, 0.31%, Jarrett Young, 0.72%, such small percentages, Alan Swick, 0.9%, Jason Brown, 1.35%, and Connor L. Thompson, 5.65%. So technically, neither one of the brothers owned the company outright. It looks like they're owning it as businesses, one as an LLC and one as an enterprise, which is probably a sole proprietorship. So technically, they own it as themselves. Interrogatory number 2, identify all owners and employees that apply. Defendant objects to number 2 on the grounds that it seeks information not relevant to the party's claim or defenses or likely to lead to discovery of admissible evidence, and to the extent it seeks information not in the defendant's possession or control. How the heck are they supposed to know who applied to Crumble? Like, there's no way they can know that. They got to go find every single applicant. And what if you can't get in contact with them? Because a lot of times people apply to jobs that they never hear back from, and then maybe they move 10 million miles away. We don't know what's going on. My bad. I'm having a hard time with my mic. I keep unplugging it, hitting it, doing all kinds of stuff. Okay. So they don't know where to get that information. Without waiving the objection, defendant responds that Bennett Maxwell and Bradley Maxwell reached out to Crumbl regarding purchasing Crumbl franchise and had a discussion with Crumbl regarding same, but did not submit an application for the franchise and did not purchase. Bradley Maxwell was briefly employed by Crumbl in 2019. Defendant is not aware of any other information in the possession and custody and control of the interrogatories. So Crumbl initially asserted that they did apply for the franchise and they got denied. Dirty Doe is saying we never actually applied for it. We had a meeting with y'all, but we did not apply for it. Y'all gave us some information about it, and we said, you know what? We can do this ourselves. We can do this ourselves. Oh, my gosh. Identify all owners, employees, former employees, representatives of Dirty Doe that are employees of former employees of Crumbl. Defendant objects on the grounds that is overly broad, unduly burdensome. Exactly. We done had 100 million applications. We are not contacting all of these people to figure out who also applied to Crumbl, and who's to say they're even going to respond. Defense is likely to lead to discovery. Without waiving these objections, defendant responds that it is defendant's understanding Bradley Maxwell is a former employee of Crumbl, that he worked for Crumbl for a few months in early 2019, and that he served as a process engineer for Crumbl. He admits that. Let's see. This one says identify all Dirty Doe owners, employees, and former employees who have access to or whoever had access to information of documents generated by Crumbl. Here we go. Who has, they object to it for being overly broad because they can't find everyone that's ever applied to them. But to the best of their knowledge, Tyler Perry, Bradley Maxwell, Andrea Adriano. They're gonna lose. Andrea Adriano, who is an administrative assistant to Bennett Maxwell. Why did you give us all that information? Did they ask for the title? Oh, they did ask for the title. Tracy Warner, Cynthia Wishon, and Bennett Maxwell has access to documents produced in response to the for the request for protection. So they admit that they have some of Crumbl's information. Okay. Like in my head, I was like, y'all are gonna lose. You might want to settle, but now it's real. Now it's real. You have to settle. Like you have to settle. All those people have access to Crumbl documents. Identify all documents and things concerning Crumbl or referring to or relating to Crumbl that any owners, employees, or former employees took or removed from Crumbl's offices, including downloading, uploading, referring, photocopying. They object on the ground that is overly broad and burdensome. You can probably find that information. Seeks information not relevant to the party's claim. It definitely is related to their claim. You stole from them. It is admissible evidence. Without objecting, defendant responds that it has had access to documents related to Crumbl, but denied that those documents were ever taken or removed from Crumbl offices, files, or computer systems by an owner, employee, or former employee of Dirty Dough. The documents of which Dirty Dough is aware that could match the description provided in interrogatory number 5 were to Dirty Dough's knowledge given by Crumbl to Bradley Maxwell for storage on his personal Google Drive. Bradley Maxwell briefly held an equity stake in Dirty Dough and briefly worked as an independent contractor for Dirty Dough, but he is not an owner, employee, or former employee of Dirty Dough. What? Bradley Maxwell briefly held equity stake in Dirty Dough and briefly worked as an independent contractor, but he's not an owner, employee, or firm. You going to jail. You guys are lucky this is not you're lucky this is not a criminal case. You are going to jail. Okay? He's an independent contractor. No. And I'm pretty sure he owns one of those enterprises. Who's the owner of B. Maxwell? Do we need to look that up? B. Maxwell Enterprises. Oh my gosh. Okay, state the type of storage system, Google Drive or cloud system, whatever. Defendants use the following: Google Drive for its computer storage. It also uses Slack for internal messaging and Google Workspace for email. Dirty Dough believes these systems are stored at locations established by various vendors. Identify your owners, employees, or former employees who have or have ever accessed each type of storage system. They object on the grounds that it's overly broad and unduly burdensome. You know who you gave passwords to, people you hired, right? Not relevant to the party's claim or defense, and cannot do admissible evidence. Yes, it could, because they can interview them. They can interview the people that had access to it. So that's wrong. Oh man, you're going to jail. Identify all information, documents, and or things belonging to Crumbl, concerning Crumbl, or relating to or referring to Crumbl that you have ever had in storage systems. Defendant objects as it's overly broad and unduly burdensome. It seeks information not relevant. No, because you said you never took anything from them. So if it is in your drive, then you probably took something from them. Without waiving these objections, defendant responds that the information and documents responsive to interrogatories have been produced pursuant request number 1. So it is Bradley and what was the other brother? Bennett and Bradley. Let's see here. Identify the name of persons responsible. I probably should have did these all at the same time. But communicating regarding litigation, they say it does, let's see, object on the ground that it seeks protected from discovery under attorney work product doctrine and attorney-client privilege. Without waiving this objection, undersigned counsel provided such notice on or around May 16, 2022. That's probably a fine objection. Identify the social media accounts for Dirty Dough. They object because it's overly broad and burdensome. No, it's not. How many social media accounts have you made? 3? Come on. It's not likely to lead to discovery. Yes, You could be stealing pictures, screenshotting them, whatever. Defendant further objects on the ground that the phrase related to dirty dough, the plaintiffs are, or the claims of the complaint is vague and ambiguous. Got a point there. Without waiving the objection, defendant responds that it has accounts on Facebook, Instagram that have been used for, among other things, communication related to dirty dough plaintiffs or claims in the complaint. Bennett Maxwell also has a personal LinkedIn account that has been used for, among other things, communications, i.e. throwing shade at Crumble when they filed the lawsuit against them. Because he did post on his LinkedIn account that has been used for, among other things, communications related to dirty dough plaintiffs and the claims of the complaint. Because we sauced you on LinkedIn. Okay, so they said it's overly burdensome to name the accounts that they have, and it's just Facebook and freaking Instagram, and then one of their personal LinkedIn's. Like, no, you'll be okay. Describe the development of Dirty Dough's franchises and other systems. They object, saying it's propriety, subject to trade secret, and on the ground that it's overly broad and burdensome. Probably not a good objection. Defendant further objects on the ground that the phrase development of Dirty Dough franchise system is vague and ambiguous. Probably. Without waiving any objection, Dirty Dough responds that the person involved in developing its franchise systems was Bennett Maxwell, Wade Romanson, Dirty Dough Franchise Counsel, the Franchise Business Law Group, Rachel Sefker, a Dirty Dough employee. Who is a Dirty Dough employee? What's their name? Provides franchise support, and Dalton Jessen and Chalice Hobbs. Also, Dirty Dough employees are Rachel Sefker is the Dirty Dough employee. Okay, I was wrong. They're involved in the franchise sales and development. Request for production of documents. We are not going to go through all of that because I'm running out of words from mouth. Oh, I didn't know that. I scrolled through this and I did not see this earlier, so I must have just overlooked it. Request for admission. Here we go. Whew. Okay. Admit that Bradley Maxwell and Bennett Maxwell are brothers. Admit that prior to May of 2019, Bennett Maxwell reached out to Crumble about buying a Crumble franchise. Defendant objects for number 2 on the ground that phrase reach out is vague and ambiguous, probably. Without waiving the objection, defendant admits that Bennett Maxwell reached out to Crumble about buying a Crumble franchise prior to May 2019, but Bennett Maxwell never acquired a Crumble franchise. Admit that Crumble employed Bradley in 2019. Defendant objects on the grounds that the request should be directed to Bradley Maxwell, who is the defendant in the litigation. We are not answering that. Ask Bradley yourself. Admit that Bradley Maxwell is a process engineer. Defendant objects as it should be directed to Bradley Maxwell because he's a defendant. Admit that Bradley Maxwell signed an employee confidential. I can probably think that they're going to say to ask him yourself. It should be directed towards Bradley Maxwell. Without waiving objection, defendant admits that plaintiff attached a document to the First Amendment complaint that purports to be an employee confidentiality and non-competition agreement signed by Bradley Maxwell. Admit that Bradley signed an employee confidential agreement. They're going to say that they attached it to the complaint, but y'all need to ask him yourself, not me, because I'm an entity and I'm not Bradley. Admit that in March 2019, Bradley signed a principal confidential. Ask Bradley yourself. I don't know. Admit that as of May 20, 2019, Bradley Maxwell and Bennett Maxwell each owned equity stake in Dirty Dough. They said admit it, but then when they listed who owns it, it didn't name them. So are they the owners of B Maxwell Enterprises, both of them? Probably, huh? Admit that Dirty Dough has in its possession, but now they're saying they're not an owner, but they own a stake in that. Oh gosh. This is getting dirty. Dirty Dough. Admit that Dirty Dough has in its possession information belonging to Crumble, including Crumble recipes. They object on the ground that has in possession is vague and ambiguous. Without waiving objection, defendant admits that it has had access to document that contains information related to Crumble, including documents that purport to be Crumble recipes. Defendant denies it has used the information in any way in its operation. So yes, we have your recipes, but we're not using them. And we're not comparing our recipes to your recipes to see if ours are better. Okay. I would like to see how that holds up in court. Admit that Bradley Maxwell provided Crumble information to Dirty Dough. Defendant admits that the information referenced in its response to request number 9 was provided by Bradley Maxwell. You are going to jail. Like, just, oh my gosh. Whoo. Okay. Admit that Dirty Dough has asked employees to use Crumble recipes to develop Dirty Dough's cookies. Denied. Admit that Dirty Dough uses Google Drive to store information. Admit. They reserve the right to supplement. Okay. I can't believe I missed this earlier. I'm not going through their emails anymore. That's all I'm covering there. It looks like I don't got no pants on, but I do, I promise. Okay. So we are kind of far in the chat, I think. Maybe not. Maybe not too bad. Oh, yeah, I am very behind. Okay, I'll try to catch up. Oh, snap. It's starting to load. It was not loading at first, but I'm behind. All right, y'all. If you have not already, please do hit the like button. I am going to go through some chats. I am way behind. These chats are like 8:45 and it is 9:18. I powered through those documents. So we got a lot of information out of there. Let me know what you guys think so far. Are they guilty? Well, it's not guilty. Are they liable? I'm feeling like they're liable. Like, yes, we have that information, but we didn't use it to develop our own cookie brand that is pretty similar to yours, but we didn't use it. We didn't use it. Oh my gosh. Here we go. Nissa Howard says, I designed my own Ravenclaw bag with patches, and that can be expensive. Oh, that's nice. Upside Down says, I did Diddy's house in the Hamptons. He got a lot of nerve suing anyone the way he does biz. Honor, you put your signature on the contract. Yeah. And he knew they were doing bad, right? Upside Down says, LOL, and that sentence got turned around. Let's see. Nissa Howard says, Tanya D. Ravenclaw is a house from Harry Potter. Nissa Howard says, designed a bag. Okay, I'm going to skip those ones because you guys are chatting. And I'm way behind. Okay. Blake says, confidential recipe. Yes, Betty Crocker is so confidential. Yeah, you put the cake mix with the egg with 2/3 vegetable oil. I can make one right now in my head. Amy Evans says, yay, late but here. Well, we are happy to have you here. We are into the Dirty Dough. They did them dirty. Their name matches their activity, in my opinion. But let me know what y'all think. Upside Down says, good to see you too. The Tiny D, it's been a minute. Yes, Upside Down, you have not been here in a minute. Nice to see you. Blake says, still in recipes, how many ways are there to make cookies exactly? It's going to be mostly the same for all of them. Exactly. Now, you could say like recipe ideas maybe, because not everybody's making a French toast or what is it called? That Cinnamon Toast Crunch cookie like both of them had. Not everyone's making the exact same cookie, but you're right. The basic part of the cookie, they're going to be very similar recipes. I mean, the recipe that I use, for those of you that were here earlier, the recipe that I use is called Copycat Mrs. Fields Cookie. So that's the one I use because I like Mrs. Fields. I told y'all. Amy Evans says, gotta bounce soon, but replay. Well, we are happy that you joined in live for just a little bit, even if it was just a little bit. This is Howard says, Tiny D, no problem. I didn't spend $600, but with a bag and patches, I think 100 to 200. Oh, that's not bad. You save some money, but you also have to use the time. Chantel says, can they object to giving them access to the Google Drive or other cloud services because possible proprietary info? They did. They did object to it on that basis, but given the type of information that they're claiming they stole, and they actually have a basis for it, and that they admitted that they do have some of the information on their Google Drive, they're going to be able to get it. Even if Dirty Dough said no, they would have been able to file this motion and say, make them do what we asked for, which is what they did, right? But they were able to limit it. So that was good. That was good. Blake says, who doesn't use Google Drive, right? Boo Amago says, I'm still using USB sticks. I have quite a few USB sticks. I don't use them as often, though, and mostly for my job when I'm like transferring computers at the court. Blake says, well, they did ask for those also, Ghost. Yes, they did. Boo Amago says, dang, they want everything. Yes, they have to prove their case. This thing is going to settle because Dirty Dough did it. Dirty Dough did it. I'm going to have to talk to Emily D. Baker and let her know, hey, Dirty Dough is sassy, but they did it. They did it. I don't think court is going to go too well for them. They're going to have to settle. Upside Down says Diddy can't even show up for a dinner he had his chef prepare over the holidays and didn't show for his recipe. Doubtful. Tanya D says, shout out to the replay crew. Make sure you hit the like button to support Bree and the Bree Hive. Yes, thank you for the reminder. Upside Down says, sorry, peeps. Diddy brings out the ugly in me. Fake free. Yeah, Diddy's not doing so well on this channel either. I thought I would have a little more sympathy for him, but no. But also, I didn't read the whole complaint. Maybe if I read the whole complaint, I will be on his side. But from the background, the first 9 pages, you couldn't convince me. You're probably not going to convince me in the next 20. Okay. Blake says if he had the information since he worked there, but just forgot to delete it, would it count as stealing? And so that's kind of the argument that they're making. They're like, it wasn't on our Google Drive. It was on his individual Google Drive that we may or may not have looked at. We did look at it. He did give it to us, but we never put it in our Google Drives. Is what they're going to argue. So they're going to put the liability on him because he's named as a defendant along with the company. So not the best argument. Let's see. Down, up and fam. Chelsea says, you guys are still live. Wow, I'll have to watch the replay. Yeah, we are still live, surprisingly. I told you guys I had a lot of information to cover today. A lot of information. Hello Swinky says, friendly reminder, finesse the algorithm, help the stream, hit the like button. Yes, if you have not already, please do hit the like button. It definitely helps us out. Where are we at? We are at 50 likes. Yay, we made it halfway to our goal, and we don't even have like a lot of viewers today. So that is amazing. So shout out to the chat for hitting 50 likes in the live stream. Definitely love to see it. Got stories. Tidy says we didn't use your recipes, just everything else. Yeah, you use them recipes because you was like, okay, they made this. Let me shut up for I'll be the next one in the lawsuit. But in my opinion, I think they use the recipe to help develop theirs. They may not have copied the recipes because they probably think their cookies taste better. Just like one of the tweets that Bennett put out was, oh, everybody use sprinkles on their cookies like your grandma or something of that nature. Like, yes, you might use the same ingredients, but me, I have never made a cookie with a Twix bar in it, and they both have those kind of cookies. Now, I was going to try to make that cookie on live stream, but I never got around to doing it. So, yeah, things like that. Blake says if they were using the Crumble recipes but swapped out or added an ingredient, would that still count as copying? Yes. Yes, for the purposes of what they're trying to allege, because they're going to allege the gourmet cookie. So maybe the dough is not exactly the same, but the concept is the same. They made a sugar cookie base with cream cheese icing swirls with cinnamon sugar sprinkle on top. It might not be the same proportions, but it's the same idea of the cookie. And then they have it on a rotating basis. So they're going to argue very simple. They can't say, oh, we make chocolate chip cookies and so do you. Like everybody and their grandma makes a chocolate chip cookie. You are not winning on that. But your fancy cinnamon toast crunch cookie that not a lot of people make may be a little bit more like, okay, you for sure copied them in some way, you know? Boo Amago says, so basically this is a family feud that's escalated into a lawsuit. Not exactly. So Bradley and Bennett, they are brothers, but they own Dirty Dough together. Crumble is not related to them at all. They're just a company that Bradley and Bennett tried to get into and then decided to do their own thing. Okay, Hello Swinky says, well, that cookie lawsuit escalated quickly. Yeah. Like I said, they're losing. Like you have to settle. You have to settle. We was on your side when you were being sassy, but after reading these responses, like, yeah, we have your stuff, but we didn't use it. But somehow you have almost an identical business model. I don't know. Upside Down says, sorry, love. Been so busy and had to catch up when I got back from Australia. Well, welcome back. Don't worry about it. I was missing all of June. So you are fine here with me. I was late today, so we do not mind. Welcome back. Boo I'm a Ghost says, hello, Swaggy. Yeah, I thought this suit was only about box designs. No, it's about so much more. Proprietary information that was maybe stolen, maybe not stolen, but used improperly. Yeah. Blake says, I don't think they have a case on the box design. No. Everything they have asked about is going to be related to the cookie and the business model. I don't think they have a claim with the trademark stuff either. The trademark, trade design, all that stuff. Buamago says, I agree with Blake. Yes, I also agree. Buamago says, oh, my bad. I thought the owner of Crumble and the owner of Dirty Dough were brothers. No. The brothers own Dirty Dough together. Yeah. No worries. We went through a lot of information today. So that is all that I have for today. Thank you guys for sticking through it. We are back at a 2.5 hour live stream. Lately, we've only been doing like an hour and a half. So thank y'all for sticking with me. And we're a little late today. So thank y'all for staying up late with me. This was a really good live stream. Like, even though I had all the technical difficulties, we still covered a pretty good amount of information. And I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I hope that you guys enjoyed your weekend. And I will catch you back here live next week. If you haven't already, please do hit the like button. It really helps us out in the algorithm. If you are watching and you have not subscribed and you've made it all the way to the end of the video, come on, just subscribe. You like us a little bit. And we would really appreciate the new friend joining the channel. Okay, y'all. I gotta go to bed. I got work in the morning, but I definitely enjoyed the live stream, and I hope everyone has a good night, morning, or wherever you are, and I will catch you all next week.